Chapter 385. At this time, all the people who had not left the Jab's line of defense were looking up at the battle taking place outside of the line of defense. There was a black flying saucer in front of them, while countless insects were rushing towards it. Dense white lights shot out from the black UFO, and the insects fell in piles. Even so, after the insect queen called out, not only did the number of insects not decrease, but it also increased. Heavens, an alien planet has come to help. What a terrifying flying saucer. What terrifying combat power. This should be a new combat flying saucer developed by the Alliance. With this flying saucer, we won't have to be afraid of these disgusting bugs anymore. I thought that I would die in the Jab's line of defense. I did not think that this kind of flying saucer would appear in the end. It's just like a dream. But there are more and more insects. The flying saucer is almost covered. At this moment, on the Jab's line of defense, all the soldiers of all colors were exclaiming in amazement and shock. No one knew what was going on. Even the few commanders of the line of defense who had rushed out were watching the UFO battle with their mouths wide open. They had no idea what was going on. When they saw the UFO being covered by the bugs, they became nervous again. Once the UFO was destroyed, these bugs could easily devour the whole Earth. After Ning Cheng heard the cries of the insect queen, he immediately knew that it was not good. He could no longer sit still and simply stood up. The insect queen's voice had a very powerful penetrative ability. Ning Cheng estimated that this kind of strength was a lot stronger than his own. Big brother Ning, thank you. Seeing the numerous insects outside being killed by the flying saucer, Lei completely sobered up from the shock, as she quickly bowed and thanked Ning Cheng. There are too many demonic insects. We need to launch a level 5 attack. Spirit stones are not enough. We need 100 million spirit stones. Roland's voice came. Ning Cheng did not hesitate to take out a ring without any restrictions, put 100 million spirit stones into it, and put the ring into the energy tank. Fortunately, he had obtained a lot of spirit stones in the sifting orchid star. Otherwise, he would not have been able to kill all of these insects. Anything, when the quantity reached a certain level, would be a terrifying thing. After the battle disc replenished itself with the spirit stones, it no longer shot out a white light, but rather a circular wave after a circular wave. All the worms died instantly under this wave. Because of the appearance of the wave, the insect's death rate instantly increased. Almost every second, tens of millions of bugs were affected by the white light and died. However, he did not expect that this insect queen would be an instant free and the flying saucer would kill this insect queen. One must know that the underlying killed by the insect queen, the soldiers watching queen would rush into the even if it was the worst seemed that the causing difficult line of defense to be completely annihilated. Quality spiritual had already clenched out with another snapping sound. He knew that if he went to help insect, it would be tantamount to throwing his life away. Incomparably fast his life away could the giant worm's body was brown. Then he would not hesitate to throw his life away. However, this insect had his not be able to do anything but wait for death. If the covered with major barbs were still care about the damage to his own foundation. This wasn't a bug, as he crazily spat out a shelly mouthfuls of what made Ning Cheng's major expert had already died in battle, while even if he had to expose to the 100 or rather it was already a Homer did not appear at all. Let the insect his cultivation had been restored to the 4th level at the same time that Ning Cheng was then he would have been able to put up a fight against. He felt as if his bones were about to break. The explosion and power of this spiritual artifact was not something that could be casually blocked. If he were not a body-forging cultivator, at this moment he would have definitely was very clear in his heart that if he did not go up had not yet stood up, then the battle disc at this time would not arrive to block even a single slap from that that there was a huge everlasting strength under the shadow could instantly kill off these low-level spiritual artifacts. But while Ning Cheng took advantage of this gap, it was simply again shot out with this mirror secondary. He also understood why the jab was that through the ripples created by the underworld tough. It was all because the damage that his attacks could deliver towards the insect queen was simply not something that Ning Cheng had comprehended. So if one of these insects to attack the jab's line of defense, he would definitely end up suffering how many people with higher cultivation had died. Otherwise, but this time he actually able to take a deal with the insect queen. Using the humans as prey long serrated legs rushing towards him, Ning Cheng directly even if the insect queen magic just thinking about it. Under the explosion and underworld in just a blink of an eye, it was turned into a giant insect with a radius of nearly 100 approached the battle directly covering the spear was sifting within it. And this spear had also discovered the crisis of death, as it immediately sent out an alert. The immediately wrapped up in it with an astonishing power, contracted and even if the underworld kill all these explosions had left it with crab waiting to be sold. Even with several of its legs broken, the single insect queen still issued out a terrifying roar. That he had snatched some of the insects that had not been killed by the underworld on hearing her scream, and was causing her to suddenly panic in the heart towards He had a lot of means, just as she called out the never used this magical weapon. Ning Chang had already left for that, and all the insects that rushed towards Ning Chang were instantly killed by the white light. He absolutely could not let the injured sound deal with the eventually slowed down. The insect chain had already seen he knew that this insect queen was very powerful on the ground, and its body was as tough as a best quality under the overflowing, killing, imposing aura pressed down on him. The insect queen did not continue to think about it, as he immediately brought out the shadow of the everlasting blue thunder city. More pitiful, as the only remaining intact leg gave up on resisting the long spear. The only thing he could rejoice about was that he had already recovered to the soul essence realm. Otherwise, if he came here with his essence building realm cultivation, he would only be courting Chang's waist. Ning Chang could barely shift his position, but there was nothing he could do. Under the huge impact of the insect queen was simply collapsed. As if replaced by an ordinary late-stage soul essence cultivator, they would have already lost their life, bringing out a circle of ice spear lights. The white light streaked across Ning Chang's 36 profound even if Ning Chang had a rank 5 imperial body, under Ning Chang's ended up in a bloody formed into an ice spear net. This rank 5 imperial body also saved Ning Chang's life. Although he had already made his move, have ended up in a bloody mist, but would have been cut in two. His time was simply too short. That the white light streaked across Ning Chang's waist, the insect queen's intact leg and even gave him a spiritual technique. Yet he did not have the time to refine and cultivate down. He had originally thought that Earth was the safest place. Who would have thought that he would encounter such a thing? Upside down, at this time, Ning Chang did not blame Elay. Even if spear had already pierced through the body of the power of these insects, it would only have taken them a few days to reach the 100 bay point. Brought out, in a few days' out a trail of green liquid several feet then he would be able to recover to the first level of another blood-curdling screech. If his luck was bad, with its then he would only be able to recover to the peak of the soul essence realm. It instantly escaped from the battlefield. The profound ice spear lights were just like in this battle, as the insect queen's battle disc smashed them into hundreds of millions of insects. Not waiting for the insect to disperse, and Ning Chang the insect queen's other foot when the insect queen escaped, just like a shadow, struggled to even stand up. A huge force exploded on Ning Chang's body, and seeing that many people from the Jab's line of defense had started to swarm did not intend to let Ning Chang go, leave this place as it once again landed beside Ning Chang. Even if he wanted to come here again, he would have to wait until his injuries were healed. Was completely stunned. His injuries were not light. She knew that Ning Chang was very powerful. The insect queen had escaped. Was unexpectedly he would not have had the strength to fight back. She had called Ning Chang here. Seeing the battle disc sifting killing Ning Chang over and descend, Ning Chang simply could not beat this insect to crawl towards the battle disc. Not only Elay, but the entire Jab's line of defense were nervously staring at the fight between Ning Chang and the insect queen. The Jab's line of defense. At the same time that Ning Chang was sent flying by the insect queen, did not move at all. Everyone's hearts were hanging by a thread. As long as Ning Chang did not issue any instructions, was so the ownership of the battle disc that the Jab's line of defense was finally safe. No one else had the right to command it. That such a terrifying struggle as he spoke to Elay. The martial artist blocking the insect queen to do was definitely a top-notch expert. Your injuries are too severe. This top-notch expert I have to take care of the insect queen. You should hurry up because he did not want the insect queen to get close to the flying disc. Not to mention about the insects coming from this place. Your injuries also need immediate treatment. As Elay spoke until here, she suddenly called out in surprise, "The people inside are coming, wait for them to help." Ning Chang was no longer in the mood to talk with Elay, as he directly spoke to Sifting Orchid, "Leave this place as fast as you can. Go to the southern heaven Feral Brook Mountain." After saying those words, Ning Chang immediately began to dissolve the medicinal pills to heal his injuries. The strength of the insect queen was simply too formidable. Moreover, when he was completely exhausted, it had slammed into his body, causing his Zifu to shake and even his meridians to split open. However, Ning Chang believed that with his medicinal pills and healing abilities, it would only take a few days at most for his injuries to fully recover. The difference in strength between him and the insect queen was simply too great. Moreover, the insect queen was just like him. After coming to Earth, its strength had dropped by a lot. Fortunately, the spiritual chi on Earth was scarce. As such, the insect queen might not even have 1/100th of its original strength. Otherwise, even if he recovered to his peak, he would definitely not be a match for the insect queen. This kind of giant insect with such strength was simply not something that he could tame, not to mention taking it away from Earth. The first thing he needed to do now was to restore his full strength, and then find the hiding place of this giant insect and kill it. Otherwise, once this giant insect recovered a part of its strength, as long as he encountered it, then he would definitely die. As for the rest of the life on Earth, they would definitely turn into ashes. Lei, on seeing that the battle disc had not entered the jab's line of defense, couldn't help but ask in a daze, "Big brother Ning, you have such heavy injuries, why don't you go to the line of defense to heal?" Ning Cheng gave a sneer. He was simply too lazy to answer. Lei, on seeing Ning Cheng's sneer, instantly understood. Ning Cheng was currently seriously injured. Once he went to the jab's line of defense, in case someone coveted his battle disc or even him, it would not be good for him. Lei turned silent. She already understood that it was not a good thing for her to call Ning Cheng to go to the jab's line of defense. Hui had killed so many insects in the jab's line of defense, and finally had his essence weapon snatched away. If not for Delandi taking Hui away, Hui would have already been killed. The several commanders who had rushed out of the jab's line of defense, as well as the countless soldiers, all looked up at the black battle disc in the distance. At this moment, the entire line of defense was completely silent. As for who the person who had come to save them was, nobody knew. However, everyone was very clear that if not for this black flying saucer coming to save them, this line of defense would have long since been devoid of any human life. At this time, outside the jab's line of defense, there was an endless pile of insect materials. The value of these materials was simply incalculable. However, no one went to collect the materials first, as all the people just watched the black flying saucer disappear. However, this kind of watching only lasted for less than half a minute. After the battle disc disappeared, almost all the people rushed towards these insect materials. These were all riches, innumerable riches. Tian Yuan suddenly sat up, and the first thing she did was to grab the clothes covering her chest. However, she quickly understood that nothing was missing from her body, and that her body was completely normal. As a true cultivator, she immediately knew that she had not been violated. What was going on? Did that scarlet-robed man suddenly find his conscience? No, this was her residence in the external domain hotel. It was her own room. She put down her hands and recalled the previous events. She had been threatened by the scarlet-robed man and had gone to see Ning Cheng before she died, before returning to the scarlet-robed man's place. Finally, she had severed her meridians to commit suicide. That's right, she had obviously severed her meridians, so why were there no problems with her meridians now? The fragrance of a spiritual grass lingered in her mouth, causing Tian Yuan to come to understand that she had indeed severed her meridians. Someone should have used a pill to save her. She had seen rank 1 spiritual grasses before. As such, the pill that she had taken was definitely not refined from a rank 1 spiritual grass. How could such a thing as a pill appear on Earth? On Earth, who else could perform alchemy? Who would be willing to use this kind of precious pill to save her? It was absolutely impossible for that scarlet-robed man to find his conscience and save her. That person was cruel and vicious, so how could he possibly save her? Tian Yuan immediately dialed the phone number of the helper she had left here. In just a few minutes, she had figured out that no one had seen her return, and no one had seen anyone send her back. In other words, someone had saved her, and even sent her back without anyone knowing about it. Who was this person? Rulin, I want to set up the company in Jiangzhou, and leave the 100 Bay Point tomorrow. Dai Xen thought for a long time before finally speaking out her thoughts. Ning Rulin knew about Dai Xian's thoughts. Her big brother wanted to take her away from here. Dai Xian would be responsible for the Chung Rulin company in the future. Dai Xian wanted to prove to her big brother that she had the ability to manage the Chung Rulin company well before she left with her big brother. Okay, you can go. This company will be yours in the future. You can decide how you want to do it. Remember not to forget about cultivation. Maybe in the future, me and my big brother will come back. The few sisters in our dormitory, if they are willing, you can also let them enter the company, especially Shiryun. You have always been helping me, I have never done anything. Ning Ruolin was the same as Ning Cheng, a sentimental person. She had always wanted to thank her sisters, but never had the opportunity to do so. Now that she had to leave, she asked Dai Xen to help her fulfill her wish. Even if you don't say it, I already know about it. Shiryun is in Jiangzhou, and I was planning to ask her to be my assistant. Ruolin, I think you might as well come with me to Jiangzhou. Dai Xen was persuading Ning Ruolin to go to Jiangzhou together, when Yin Yihui's voice arrived from the outside. President Dai, Miss Tian Nguyen has come to visit. Dai Xen immediately frowned. Didn't she come here before? Why did she come again? Moreover, she even made elder brother Xiaocheng unhappy. This woman is really like a ghost. Little Xen, forget it, she is also a person that my big brother likes. Besides, I really wronged her. I thought that she was the one who harmed my big brother. If not her, then who? If not for her, how could elder brother Xiaocheng leave Earth? Tian Nguyen sat for a while, before she saw Ning Ruolin come in. She immediately stood up, and without any nonsense, directly said, I want to see your big brother. Ning Ruolin calmly looked at Tian Nguyen. This woman was really beautiful, no wonder her big brother was so obsessed with her. Even now, her big brother could not completely forget this woman, otherwise he would not have been absent-minded that day. Do you want to be my sister-in-law? Compared to more than a month ago, Ning Ruolin no longer had that kind of fear, nor did she have any fear. She was only at the Qi Gathering first level, and already knew how powerful her strength was. She did not know to what extent her big brother had cultivated. Tian Nguyen felt the change in Ning Ruolin, and was slightly surprised, but did not feel that Ning Ruolin's words were harsh to the ears. It's not that, I just want to say two things. What Tian Nguyen wanted to say was that she could let Delandi leave Ning Ruolin, but she did not know why she wanted to help Ning Cheng. Perhaps she had reflected on herself, and felt that she was too arbitrary in many areas. Just as that scarlet-robed man said, she was too self-centered. No matter why she had not died, she was a person who had already died once. After finishing these things, she decided to leave the Tian family, and look for cultivation resources to slowly cultivate. Yin Yihui's voice once again arrived. Elder Sister Ning, Delandi is waiting outside, he wants to see you. Chapter 387. Sister Ning? Tian Nguyen looked at Ning Ruolin in doubt. Moreover, what was the meaning of Delandi waiting outside? Delandi wanted to see Ning Ruolin, but he still had to wait? I'll go out and have a look. In Ning Ruolin's heart, Delandi's status was much higher than Tian Nguyen's. After all, even if she and her big brother left, Delandi still had to support the Chung Ruolin company. To her, Tian Mu-wan was just a bystander. Elder Sister Ning, I just received the news that when the Jab's line of defense was about to collapse, a flying saucer suddenly appeared. The flying saucer's combat ability was very strong, and it had already killed hundreds of millions of insects. The killed insects piled up into a continuous mountain range. Now that the insect queen is seriously injured and has to retreat, I must immediately go to the Jab's line of defense. Delandi spoke with a bow. Ning Ruolin was Ning Cheng's little sister. Moreover, Ning Cheng treated his little sister like a treasure. As such, how could he dare to neglect her even for half a moment? He was very clear in his heart, even if he neglected Ning Cheng, it might not be a big deal, but he absolutely could not neglect Ning Cheng's younger sister. Sister Ning again? Tian Nguyen, who was following behind, couldn't help but look at Delandi in shock. What was going on? What she saw was that Delandi was not bossing Ning Ruolin around, rather he was respectfully asking Ning Ruolin for instructions. Was it not Ning Cheng who pushed his sister to Delandi in exchange for the other party's support? Did he get the wrong information? At this moment, Tian Nguyen suddenly discovered that Tian Yen, who was killed by Ning Cheng, seemed to have given her a lot of false information. Ning Ruolin nodded. Delandi, you go. I will soon be leaving the Chung Ruolin company with my elder brother. Regardless of whether my elder brother is here or not, I hope that you can support the Chung Ruolin company and help Dai Xin as much as possible. My brother left some rewards for you. If you do well in the future, Dai Xn will give you some. Delandi quickly spoke up with joy. You and elder brother Ning can rest assured that I will not forget elder brother Ning and your instructions. Ning Ruolin was just about to speak when she heard the sound of an alarm ringing out, followed by a loud bang coming from the door. Ini Hue, who was standing guard outside, flew in. Not bad, your injuries have actually healed. A sarcastic voice came from behind Ini Hue as he flew in. Ini Hue, who was sitting on the ground, clenched his fists. He could not wait to rush up and kill this person. However, he knew that the disparity between him and this person was just too big. Who are you? Ning Ruolin subconsciously took a few steps back and stared at the man who was walking in unhurriedly. This person didn't look very old, only less than 30 years old. However, his eyes were a little sinister, his face was yellow, and his hands were very white. Delandi, you tell him who I am. The man gave Delandi a smile. Ini Hue wiped the blood from the corners of his mouth, and without waiting for Delandi to open his mouth, he spoke out in a hateful voice. Elder Sister Ning, this person is Yen Rui. In the Jab's line of defense, even the first Commander Flavyhill could not do anything to him. My essence weapon was stolen by him. Delandi quickly spoke up. Yen Rui, Ini Hue has already left the Jab's line of defense. For you to chase him all the way here, it is a bit too much. There's an old saying in Huaxia, leave a way out for others. Durandi, if you don't speak, then no one will treat you as a mute. I'll give you a bit of face, so don't take it too seriously. Yen Rui's face sank as he stared at Delandi. After Delandi heard these words, his complexion slightly changed, but he did not dare to reply. Although he was one of the 5 major experts, but that was only on the surface. In fact, among the 5 major experts, other than the first expert Xing Liang, who did not fear Yen Ru, even Homer would have to lower his voice in front of Yen Ru. If not for Yen Rui not wanting to become famous, then one of the 5 major experts would definitely have to be replaced by Yen Rui. Seeing Delandi's complexion change, and not daring to speak loudly, Ning Ruolin knew that this person was definitely not simple. She did not know how powerful Grey Toot Toot was. She only knew that her big brother had told her that if anyone dared to offend her, then she should directly call Grey Toot Toot to deal with them. I just broke the dog legs of all the watchdogs. You wouldn't make me angry, would you? Seeing Delandi not speaking, Yen Rui did not let it go, as he leaned towards Delandi and asked. After asking this question, Yen Rui's gaze swept towards Ning Ruolin, before falling onto Tian Muin. You are luckier than me, you will soon be rich. Saying that, he raised his hand and pointed at Ning Ruolin. You accompany me inside. Grey Toot Toot, don't show any mercy. Ning Ruolin was so angry that she no longer cared about anything else, as she directly told Grey Toot Toot not to show any mercy. Yen Rui had not yet reacted, when he felt a sharp gray shadow rushing towards him. Bang! The gray shadow's foot landed on his dantian, causing Yen Rui to feel his head go black, as an indescribable pain washed over him, while his entire body was blasted away. Quang dang! A sound rang out, as Yen Rui smashed onto the side of the door that had just opened. Falling to the ground, he immediately spurted out a mouthful of blood. You! Yen Rui stared in shock at Grey Toot Toot, who had already returned to sit on the sofa, and could only speak a single word. Ning Ruolin did not expect that Yen Rui, whom Delandi dreaded, would not even have the strength to fight back in front of Grey Toot Toot, before being knocked down by Grey Toot Toot. She did not see that Yen Rui's dantian had already shattered, and only thought that Yen Rui had suffered a small loss. Even if that was the case, she was still pleasantly surprised. Monstrous beast, it turned out to be a monstrous beast. Yen Rui muttered. Tian Muin also looked at Grey Toot Toot in shock. She had cultivated out a part of her spiritual sense, so of course she could feel the spiritual power fluctuations in the air. An attack with spiritual power fluctuations, it obviously belonged to a monstrous beast without a doubt. For it to be able to seriously injure Yen Rui with just a kick, it was at least a Class 3 monstrous beast or above. Since when did such a monstrous beast appear on Earth? Moreover, was it Ning Ruolin's pet? Tian Muin subconsciously glanced at Ning Ruolin. She finally understood why Delandi was so submissive towards Ning Ruolin. If this kind of monstrous beast wanted to kill Delandi, then it would be a simple matter. I'm leaving immediately. Yen Rui immediately reacted and realized that continuing to stay here was the same as waiting for death. He wanted to take advantage of the fact that others did not know that his dantian had shattered and quickly leave this place. Otherwise, Yin Yihui would definitely be the first to take his life. Gray Toot Toot looked at Yen Rui with disdain as he struggled to get up. With a wave of his paw, a pill fell onto its paw. The next moment, this pill had already entered its mouth. This is not a low-level spirit pill. Tian Nguyen stared at Gray Toot Toot, while her heart churned endlessly. She vaguely understood something. Seeing Yen Rui struggling, Delandi shook his head and spoke, "Mr. Yen, I told you to leave some leeway, but you did not listen to me. Now that your dantian has been destroyed, why bother?" After Yen Rui heard those words, his complexion immediately changed. He certainly knew what Delandi's words meant. It was simply to take his life. Sure enough, after Yin Yihui heard Delandi's words, he once again wiped the blood from the corners of his mouth, before leaping up and stepping on Yen Rui's face. Catcha! The sound of his facial bones breaking resounded, causing Yen Rui's heart to sink to the bottom. He knew that he was finished. Even if his master could help him take revenge in the end, he would not be able to see it. Bang bang! Yin Yihui's fists were just like raindrops as they fell onto Yen Rui's body. "You snatched this father's essence weapon. This father rushed to the front to kill those insects, yet you, a coward, still want to play dirty." But, bang! Yin Yihui's resentment completely exploded onto Yen Rui's body at this moment. He was very grateful to Gray Toot Toot for helping him kick him. Diaxin spoke up from the side. "He's already dead." Yin Yihui, who was still in a state of madness, calmed down. Yen Rui's face was covered in blood, and even his eyeballs had been knocked out. "Elder Sister Ning, I'm going to deal with this garbage." Yin Yihui finished, grabbed Yen Rui's body and quickly left the room. Even if Ning Ruolin had seen her big brother kill Quake once, but seeing Yen Rui killed by Yin Yihui, she still felt somewhat uncomfortable. "Elder Sister Ning, I'll also take my leave." Delandi quickly retreated. No wonder Ning Cheng felt reassured to leave his little sister here. With such a heaven-defying puppy, with such an expert protecting her, who else would dare to make a move against Ning Ruolin? Fortunately, he had a good eye and knew that Ning Cheng was not an ordinary person. Now it really looks like it was the case. "Ruolin, what about your brother?" Tian Nguyen asked again. At this moment, she found that her pride was just too ridiculous. Since Ning Ruolin had such a powerful assistant, would she still need her help? "The last time you came here, my big brother left with you, and has not returned yet. If you have anything to say, just tell me, I'll pass it on to my big brother." Ning Ruolin spoke in a calm voice. Tian Nguyen understood the meaning behind Ning Ruolin's words, that is, she did not want her to go looking for Ning Cheng. At this moment, she felt a bit depressed in her heart. It was reasonable to say that this was the intention of the Tian family, to not let her have any contact with Ning Cheng. She did not expect that it would be the other way around, and that it would turn out to be Ning Cheng's little sister's intention. Tian Nguyen remembered that when she was rescued, she had also come here to look for Ning Cheng. Did Ning Cheng save her? But how could Ning Cheng have such a great ability? She subconsciously looked at Gray Toot Toot lying on a large sofa. If a dog could eat a spirit pill, then who gave it this spirit pill? Ning Cheng had disappeared for 3 years. Was it related to this? Was this dog-like monstrous beast also brought back by Ning Cheng? "Ruolin, was Gray Toot Toot brought back by your big brother?" Although Tian Nguyen had already guessed it, she still asked. Ning Ruolin also did not hide it. "Yes, Gray Toot Toot was left here by my big brother to protect me." Tian Nguyen completely understood that she was saved by Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng had gone missing for 3 years. He must have had some extraordinary fortuitous encounters. Just like her, perhaps he was also a true cultivator. She immediately thought of the scene of her meeting with Ning Cheng in the ocean capital. She had thought that Ning Cheng did not seek to make progress, and did not dare to see her for 3 years. She also thought that she and Ning Cheng were not in the same world. She was a true cultivator, while Ning Cheng was just a scenery in her heart that she could not erase. Now that she was clear about this, she felt that it was somewhat ironic. They were indeed not in the same world. It was not that Ning Cheng was too far away from her, but rather she was too far away from Ning Cheng. To put it bluntly, she was a true cultivator, yet she used her family as an excuse to reject Ning Cheng. In the end, it was just a pitiful pride. Tian Muan did not continue to ask. She walked out of the place. She knew that she would never appear in this place again. Ning Cheng could have saved her, but he was not willing to see her. It was clear that she had hurt him too deeply. Although the reason for their separation was different, in the end, they still returned to the original starting point. The two of them were not in the same world. Seeing each other was like not seeing each other. How could there be no feelings? After Ning Cheng came back, this sentence appeared in her heart for the second time, but the meaning was completely different this time. Chapter 388. The speed of the 5-star battle disc was incomparably fast, and in just a short time, it was already far away from the Jab's line of defense. At the same time, Sifting Orchid's voice sounded out once again. The location of the Farrellbrook Mountain is unclear. Please give us a clear location. I know where the Farrellbrook Mountain is, but Big Brother Ning, should I cook something for you to eat first? Lei could also feel that Ning Cheng was recovering very quickly, causing her to breathe a sigh of relief, but the first thing that came to her mind was to get something for Ning Cheng to eat. As for going to the Farrellbrook Mountain earlier or later, it didn't matter. Ning Cheng knew that the battle disc did not know anything about the Farrellbrook Mountain. The reason why he did not forcibly call out to Lei was that he might need Lei's help. Lei, I'm not hungry right now. Give me the sketch of the Farrellbrook Mountain, then I will find a place to put you down. After I leave, I don't know when I will come back, so you don't have to come with me. Taking several medicinal pills in succession, coupled with his imperial body, Ning Cheng's body quickly recovered. Now that he heard that Lei really knew the way to the Farrellbrook Mountain, he hurriedly said. Lei turned silent, before she took out a map from her bosom and handed it to Ning Cheng and spoke. The Farrellbrook Mountain is on it, you can take a look at it yourself. Ning Cheng did not look at the map. He put the map aside and spoke. Sifting Orchid, find an open place to stop, and let Lei go down. The battle disc soon stopped at the outskirts of a city. After opening the door, Sifting Orchid did not immediately leave. She looked at Ning Cheng for a good while before she spoke. Big Brother Ning, I'm sorry, this time I have implicated you. However, I am very grateful to you. Without you, not to mention the Jab's line of defense, even the humans inside the line of defense would have faced destruction. I will always remember everything you have done for us. Lei, I was just doing it out of convenience. Moreover, the insect queen is still alive. You can rest assured that after my injuries are healed, I will definitely go and kill that insect. Ning Cheng was slightly infected by Lei. His intention to kill the insects was not as simple as Lei's. Lei was the truly fearless human being. However, his promise to kill the heavily injured insect before he left was indeed not for himself. If it was for himself, there was no need for him to go anymore. Because he knew very well that he couldn't tame that bug, let alone take it away. Thank you, Big Brother Ning. Lei stared at Ning Cheng without blinking. Ning Cheng felt a bit embarrassed, but did not know what to say. Lei didn't have a spirit root. If she had a spirit root, he would let Lei help Diex in, and at the same time, cultivate. Lei's innocence made Ning Cheng feel ashamed. After a good while, Lei slowly spoke up. I have a hunch that after Big Brother Ning kills that huge insect, he will disappear from our sight. Perhaps we will never meet again. Ning Cheng remained silent. He had never thought that Lei's premonition would be so accurate. Seeing Ning Cheng remain silent, Lei knew that her words were not wrong. She looked at Ning Cheng's severely injured waist and whispered, Actually, I wanted to wait for you to kill the insect queen, and then give myself to you. Not to be with you, not to thank you, but because I like what you said. A woman's most precious thing should be given to the person she truly loves. After saying these words, Lei exhaled, and her complexion also became a lot more cheerful. Big Brother Ning, I know that I am not worthy of you, but after saying these words, I feel a lot more comfortable in my heart. After saying that, Lei walked towards the hatch. She felt very comfortable, at least during the entire process of Ning Qing killing the insect. She was at his side, at least she was able to say her own words. Lei. Ning Qing called out to Lei, I will not say anything else, but we will not meet again. Lei turned around, her face had a relaxed expression, which meant that she knew. I want to give you a suggestion, do not go to the Jab's line of defense in the future. If you can, withdraw from the alliance. As for the matter of the insect, it will be solved. The alliance is not suitable for people like you to stay. Ning Qing slowly spoke. Ning Qing thought about these words for a long time. He guessed that Lei would not withdraw from the alliance, but he could not help but say it out loud. I know, even if you did not say it, I would not stay in the alliance. After you refused to go to the Jab's line of defense to heal, I understood a lot of things. You do not have to worry, I am not as stupid as you think. Lei smiled. Ning Qing sighed, took out a short sword and a book, and handed it to Lei and spoke. This is an essence weapon, you take it. Do not let others see it. There is also this book. It is a martial cultivation method that I obtained from another place. I wrote it down when I had nothing to do. You do not have a spiritual root, as such I do not know if you can cultivate this martial cultivation method or not. If you cannot cultivate it, then you can just burn it in the future. Thank you for looking at me in a different light, but I already have a wife. Lei grabbed the short sword and the book given to her by Ning Qing, as she looked at the disappearing black flying saucer, and finally could not help but blur her eyes. She had fallen in love with this man the moment he had rushed towards the insect queen. There was no reason, no process, it was just that simple. When the man had been swatted away by the insect queen, she had wished that she was the one who had been injured. However, from the beginning to the end, she was very clear that this man did not belong to her. She really did not know what kind of woman his wife would turn out to be. In a very inconspicuous place at the top of the Wild Brooch Mountain, there was a ring, which was concealed by a concealment restriction. This was Ning Cheng's miniature world. Ning Cheng had stayed in this miniature world for 10 days. During these 10 days, his injuries had long since healed. Although there was still some distance between his body refining and the rank 6 imperial body, but because of this battle, he had taken a step forward compared to before. Ning Cheng did not come out of the miniature world. He was still restoring his cultivation inside the miniature world. Knowing that Earth was not as stable as he had imagined, Ning Cheng immediately wanted to restore his cultivation. At this moment, his cultivation had already recovered to the 9th level of the Essence Soul Realm. Another week passed by. When Ning Cheng's cultivation began to stagnate, he gave out a long sigh. His cultivation had completely recovered, reaching the 4th level of Soul Sculpting Realm. Although his cultivation had recovered, Ning Cheng still did not come out of the miniature world. Instead, he took out the 36 small axes. These 36 axes were specially crafted by Tsang Wei for him. 18 of them were Cosmic True Axes and 18 of them were Extreme Devil True Axes. Not only that, these 36 small axes were all top-grade true artifacts. In the Tian continent, even a single best-grade true weapon was priceless, let alone 36 best-grade true weapons. If not for Ning Cheng's powerful spiritual consciousness, he would not have been able to control these 36 best-quality true artifacts. Even if these 36 axes were specially crafted by Tsang Wei for Ning Cheng, it still took Ning Cheng a full week to refine them. A week later, 18 golden axe shadows and 18 black axe shadows revolved around Ning Cheng's body. Feeling the formidable power of these 36 axes, Ning Cheng's confidence greatly increased. Once these 36 axes formed an axe array, coupled with his axe intent, it would definitely turn into a great killing weapon. If he had to deal with the insect queen at this time, Ning Cheng believed that even if he did not use the spiritual artifact net to self-destruct, he would still be able to inflict serious damage to that huge insect queen. Ning Cheng left the miniature world and came outside. Under the stimulation of several spiritual consciousness methods, the 36 small axes transformed into a yellow and black axe line. The surrounding air was instantly locked down by this axe line. The next moment, the axe line blasted out a nearly 100 feet long ravine on the summit of the Wild Dragon Mountain. Ning Cheng sucked in a mouthful of cold air, Was this not his angry axe, the first trace? The angry axe, the first trace, could also be displayed in such a way, which was even more powerful than the method he had used in the past. Ning Cheng, with a heroic spirit in his heart, once again waved his hand, and the 36 axe shadows simultaneously drew an imperceptible arc as it rolled out a twisting axe shadow. The surrounding air began to show faint cracks. It could be imagined that any life form would not be able to survive under these cracks. This was the angry axe's third form, axe line. This third form was displayed in this way, and the killing intent was even more fierce. Along with Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness, these axe lines instantly rolled up into a huge whirlpool. Just like a tornado whistling out, the ravine that was split open by the first trace, under the killing force of this tornado, disappeared in an instant. It was as if a huge shovel had just been shoveled out. Bang! The tornado finally gathered together and exploded on the ground. The hard rocks on the ground turned into ashes and turned into a yellow fog. Angry Axe's second form, tornado. The 36 best quality true artifacts combined to form a killing force. Even if it was the same move, it was more than 10 times stronger than before. Ning Cheng stood at the top of the mountain and gave out a long and loud roar. He finally had a foothold to stand on. As long as he could learn this spiritual technique, even if he had to face a crucible transformation cultivator, he would have the confidence to speak. Even if he was not an opponent, he could still calmly walk away. Chapter 389. With his cultivation restored, and the 36 small axes also finished being refined, Ning Cheng's heart finally calmed down. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out in a wide range. He wanted to see what kind of good things the Feral Brook Mountain had in the end that could allow that scarlet-robed man's cultivation to progress so quickly. One had to know that the spiritual qi on the earth was scarce. If there were no truly good things, then even if this scarlet-robed man's qualifications were high, it would still be impossible for him to cultivate to the peak of the profound congealing realm in just a few decades. This was not the I Ching mainland, where one could cultivate to this level with just a little bit of aptitude. But after 2 hours, Ning Cheng was somewhat disappointed. The Feral Brook Mountain was only 100 miles in circumference. Moreover, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness had repeatedly swept through the area, but he couldn't find anything good. He couldn't even find a single spiritual grass. It seemed that the scarlet-robed man had deceived him. If the scarlet-robed man didn't have some other secret to his cultivation, then the Feral Brook Mountain was not the place where the scarlet-robed man's cultivation speed was the fastest. Ning Cheng was not too disappointed. He had a lot of good things. If he could find them, then it would be his luck. If he could not find them, then it would not matter. After recovering his strength, the first thing Ning Cheng wanted to do was to exterminate that giant insect. The longer this dragged on, the more disadvantageous it would be for him. That insect queen definitely didn't have as many resources as he did to recover from his injuries and cultivation. This was the best time to find the insect queen. With Ning Cheng's current cultivation at the 4th level of soul sculpting realm, he still did not have the means to sweep out his spiritual consciousness across the entire earth. As such, he could only rely on the help of the 5-star battle disc. The 5-star battle disc quickly found the meteorite within the Russian Empire's territory, while simultaneously discovering the location of the insect queen. In just over half an hour, the 5-star battle disc finally landed in the middle of this barren desert. Ning Cheng put away the battle disc and saw a huge mountain-like meteorite in front of him. This meteorite was full of bumps and hollows, just like a honeycomb. Countless bugs attached themselves to this huge meteorite. What made Ning Cheng puzzled was that other than some small insects attached to the meteorites, there were no other demon insects nearby. It seemed that any demonic insect that could move independently was not allowed to stay near this meteorite. As soon as Ning Cheng arrived, the huge insect queen in the meteorite immediately discovered him. The insect queen immediately roared and emerged from the top of the meteorite. Ning Cheng waved his hand, and 36 small axes immediately appeared around his body, while at the same time Ning Cheng also grasped the long spear that he was unable to refine. Although his cultivation had soared, while the strength of the insect queen had declined, Ning Cheng did not show any carelessness. Before this insect queen landed on Earth, it was definitely a terrifying existence. Ning Cheng feared that even a crucible transformation cultivator would only be an ant in front of this insect queen. In the face of such a terrifying existence, how could Ning Cheng dare to be careless? A starving camel was still bigger than a horse. Not to mention, not only did the insect queen not starve to death, it even had a nest here. The insect queen stared at Ning Cheng and roared in anger, as if to say that Ning Cheng was a busybody. Ning Cheng did not care about the insect queen's roar, as the 36 small axes in his hands gave off a whistling sound as they tore through the air. In just a twinkling of an eye, an axe line of intersecting black and white lines appeared. Bang! The intersecting black and white axe lines exploded on top of the huge meteorite, unexpectedly causing Ning Cheng's 36 small axes to scatter. Even the indomitable killing force also dissipated without a trace. Ning Cheng stared at the meteorite in shock. Even if it was a hard meteorite, under his first trace, it would still turn into powder. However, this meteorite was not damaged in the slightest. Not only that, but it had also shattered his small axe. This was definitely not a meteorite, but rather a magical weapon. Ning Cheng had just realized that this was a magical weapon, when he felt the insect queen's imposing manner crazily rising. Soon, the imposing manner of the insect queen completely disintegrated his imposing manner. As the formidable imposing manner assaulted him, Ning Cheng's complexion turned pale as he retreated a few dozen steps. This kind of imposing manner, even he had never seen it coming from a crucible transformation cultivator. However, elder brother Zhang Wei's body gave him this kind of imposing manner. This was definitely an imposing manner that came from outside the starry skies. Today is not going to be good. Ning Cheng tightly grasped the long spear as he stared at the insect queen on top of the meteorite. In the face of this imposing manner, he simply could not come forward. If it were any other place, Ning Cheng would have already prepared the talisman to go to the Yixing mainland. But now that Ruolan was still here, he absolutely could not leave. Just as Ning Cheng was racking his brains, trying to think of a way to deal with this insect queen, the huge meteorite suddenly started to rotate. At the same time, it gave off a buzzing sound. This really was a magical weapon. Ning Cheng had just thought of this, when a powerful imposing manner, to the point that he almost could not breathe, blasted towards him, causing Ning Cheng to spit out a mouthful of blood. He did not even think about it as he stimulated the twin wings of the heavenly clouds and instantly escaped. Ning Cheng only stopped when he was more than 10 miles away. The oppressive imposing manner in this place had already reduced a lot. Just by relying on its imposing manner, this insect queen was simply heaven-defying. Even if he knew that he was not an opponent for the insect queen, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness still kept a close eye on the insect queen on top of the meteorite. He was sure that this was a secret technique used by the insect queen to stimulate its vitality, otherwise an injured insect queen would not be this powerful. As long as he waited for the power of this secret technique to pass, he would then have the absolute upper hand. From the moment that the insect queen did not dare to leave the meteorite to attack him, Ning Cheng knew that this insect queen would have to use this meteorite to activate its secret technique, otherwise, it would not be able to display its full power. However, the meteorite was spinning faster and faster, to the point that even Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness could not keep up with it. After a few breaths, the insect queen suddenly burst out with an ear-piercing screech. While simultaneously standing up from the meteorite, it opened its mouth wide and bit into the air. A dark passage, bitten open by the insect queen, appeared within the range of Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness. Sensing the vast aura of the starry skies, Ning Cheng looked at this dark passage in shock. Although he had never tore through the void before, he knew that this definitely tore through the void domain. Under the effect of the insect queen's secret technique, it could actually tear through the void domain. Just how terrifying was this existence? Even if the void domain on Earth was weak, it was not something that could be easily torn apart. If the last time he fought against the insect queen, if the insect queen could activate this secret technique, then even if he had 100 lives, he would not have been able to survive. Some scattered spatial wind edges flew down from the void, and one of them shot towards Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng did not dare to block it with his long spear, and directly brought out the everlasting Blue Thunder City. Catcha! A sound emerged, and the everlasting Blue Thunder City directly turned into nothingness under the spatial wind edges. At this time, Ning Cheng saw the meteorite carrying the insect queen and the countless insects rush into the black hole of nothingness at the speed of a meteor, disappearing in just a twinkling of an eye. After the meteorite carrying the insect queen disappeared, the pitch-black hole also disappeared. The surroundings turned quiet, as if nothing had happened. Ning Cheng's back oozed with cold sweat. He did not expect that after the insect queen arrived at the meteorite's nest, it would unexpectedly tear through the void and escape. Fortunately, the insect queen's secret technique required the help of a meteorite-type weapon. Otherwise, he would not have come here to kill the insect queen, but rather to die. Although the insect queen left, there were still many insects on Earth. Ning Cheng did not continue to kill these insects. He knew that without the insect queen, these insects would not be able to cause any damage to the major lines of defense, and would sooner or later be destroyed by the martial artists. See Capital Foreign Languages Academy, Girls' Dormitory Building 7, downstairs. Some well-dressed boys stood here in high spirits, some of them even holding a bouquet of flowers in their hands. Obviously, the boys standing here were waiting for their girlfriends. Ning Cheng walked to the management auntie downstairs and politely asked, "Auntie, please help me call Su Li from room 302. The reason why he wanted to look for Su Li was that Su Li had helped him once. Before he left, it was only right for him to come and say hello. "Are you looking for Su Li?" The auntie had not yet answered, when a crisp voice sounded out from beside Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng turned around and saw a fair-skinned girl, holding a few books in her hands and wearing a bow on her head, giving her a very spirited look. "Yes, I'm looking for Su Li." Ning Cheng quickly replied. "Elder brother Xiaoqing, you really came." A surprised voice sounded out. Ning Cheng had already seen Su Li coming over. The girl holding the books looked at Su Li and smiled. "I was going to take him to see you. Your eyes are quite sharp. Is this your boyfriend?" Saying that, the girl looked at Ning Cheng from top to bottom. She felt that Ning Cheng did not have anything special about him, even his clothes were very ordinary, but he had a different temperament. As for what was different about him, she could not tell. "That's right, I'm leaving. You helped me last time, so before I leave, I came here to thank you," Ning Cheng said. Su Li quickly spoke up, "You don't need to thank me for such a small thing. Elder brother Xiaoqing, you finally came here with great difficulty, let's go eat together. Last time because of some things I was not able to go, but this time I must definitely go. No, there is a pill here, it can help you retain your youthful looks, I'll give it to you as thanks. I'm leaving." Ning Cheng did not even say goodbye. He knew that this meeting would definitely be indefinite, as such saying goodbye would not make any sense. Grabbing a jade bottle, looking at Ning Cheng's disappearing figure, Su Li muttered, "Sure enough, I really did not make a mistake last time." Ning Cheng had suddenly disappeared, as if he had never come here. "Hey, where's your friend?" The girl holding the books stared at the place where Ning Cheng stood in surprise. Where was Ning Cheng's shadow? Chapter 390. Big brother, you're back. Her big brother had left for more than 10 days, and now that he had returned, Ning Ruolin was pleasantly surprised. Ning Cheng patted the head of Grey Toot Toot who had just jumped over, and spoke to Ning Ruolin. "That's right, everything is done. We're getting ready to go. Where's Dai Exin?" Dai Exin moved the company to Jiangzhou. She is also in Jiangzhou. Ning Ruolin quickly spoke up. Then, Ning Ruolin spoke about Yen Rue's provocation. Regarding Yen Rue being killed by Yini Hui, Ning Cheng simply did not care about it. What he was worried about was that Xing Liang. In this place, no matter how powerful Xing Liang was, he did not take him seriously. At best, he was just an ant. But now that he was leaving, would Xing Liang find trouble with Dai Exin after giving her so many Dharma artifacts to sell? Did Xing Liang come? Ning Cheng did not feel relieved and asked. "He didn't come. I heard from Delandi that Xing Liang went missing in the insect battlefield." Most likely he died. Ning Ruolin replied. She knew that this Xing Liang was not polite to her big brother. It was just that this person didn't really come looking for him. Perhaps he was really dead. Ning Qing had no way to find out if Xing Liang was dead or not. The earth was simply too big, and with his current spiritual consciousness, he was still unable to sweep through the entire earth. Call Dai Xian and ask her to pay attention to Xing Liang. We'll be leaving soon. Ning Qing somewhat missed Ji Luofei and Shi Qianghua. Now that he had found his younger sister, he really did not want to waste any more time in this place. Ning Ruolin had already prepared for this. Hearing her big brother's words, she immediately called Dai Xian. Although Dai Xian was somewhat reluctant, she was the one who had the clearest idea as to where Ning Qing wanted to go. She knew that for Ning Qing, staying on Earth would only be a waste of time. An hour later, Ning Ruolin handed over the matters of the hotel to the person in charge here, before entering the miniature world with Grey Toot Toot and following Ning Qing out of the 100 Bay Point. Inside a very ordinary coffee shop in Luotsang, Yi Lei calmly looked at Tian Mu Wan sitting opposite her. She had already left the alliance and returned home to cultivate. Tian Mu Wan being able to find this place, she did not find it strange. With the power of the Tian family, it was not difficult to find a person with a bit of fame like her. What she found strange was, why was Tian Mu Wan looking for her? She had only heard of Tian Mu Wan before, but did not know much about her. As for why Ning Qing wanted to save Tian Mu Wan, she did not think much about it. In her opinion, Ning Qing's heart was still very kind. If he was not kind, then Ning Qing would not have fought against the countless insects because of her request, and even almost lost his life. At this time, Yi Lei had already washed away those miscellaneous things, and her daily life was very regular. In addition to reading books, she also cultivated the martial arts that Ning Qing had left for her. She was very grateful to Ning Qing, but she did not know what kind of cultivation method Ning Qing had given her. The speed of her cultivation couldn't be described as 1,000 miles in a day. She was growing stronger by a level with each passing day. This cultivation method seemed to be naturally made for her. She could cultivate it with ease, without any bottlenecks. She could leap through any obstacles in one go. In the short span of a month, she believed that her strength had already leaped from a 2-star battle general to a 1-star battle marshal. There was no way to describe this, it was just a kind of intuition. Seeing that Yi Lei, who was dressed in casual attire, did not ask her anything, Tian Mu Wan took the initiative to speak up. I was looking for you to ask you a few things. Yi Lei nodded and spoke. If you are asking about who saved you that day, then I really do know. Ning Qing saved you, and then I sent you to your hotel room. Tian Mu Wan indeed came to inquire about this matter. Although she was sure that it was Ning Qing who saved her, she still wanted to confirm it with Yi Lei. Because she had heard that when Ning Qing left that day, Yi Lei had also left together with Ning Qing. Now that she heard Yi Lei's affirmative answer, she opened her mouth, while her heart felt as if a bottle of 5 flavors had been knocked over. After leaving the Chung Ruolin Hotel, she had also thought of looking for Ning Qing to thank him, but her pride did not allow her to do so. Although she knew that she was not looking for Ning Qing because of Ning Qing's wealth and power, but in anyone's eyes, she was afraid that it was her purpose. Was he the one who killed the insects outside the Jab's line of defense? Tian Mu Wan once again asked in an incomparably dry voice. He was the one who killed them, and he was also the one who drove away the insect queen. For the sake of the Jab's line of defense, to prevent the insects from entering the humans' territory, he almost died together with the insects. Yi Lei did not deny it as she knew that sooner or later, this matter would be known by others. The recording of Ning Qing's fight with the insects was not something that only a single person would know. Once the recording was analyzed, it would soon be announced to the world. This kind of thing simply could not be stopped, as such she might as well simply admit it. What's wrong with him? Tian Mu Wan suddenly stood up with a worried look on her face. Yi Lei frowned, but soon she felt relieved. Tian Mu Wan's life was saved by Ning Qing, as such she was concerned about Ning Qing's life and death. He should be fine, you don't have to worry about it. Yi Lei quickly replied. Tian Mu Wan hesitated for a moment before she spoke. Where is he now? Yi Lei shook her head and spoke. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you. Moreover, I also don't know. Ning Cheng had gone to the Feral Brook Mountains a month ago. Whether he was currently in the Feral Brook Mountains or not, Lei really did not know. Tian Mu Wan bit her lips and spoke, I'm sorry for disturbing you today, I just wanted to find him to thank him. Moreover, I used to be his girlfriend? Lei looked at Tian Mu Wan in surprise. She did not think that Tian Mu Wan and Ning Cheng would have a relationship of a couple. But soon she reacted, shook her head and spoke, Ning Cheng already has a wife, whether what you said is true or false, I have no reason to believe it. He's married? Tian Mu Wan suddenly felt a big iron all piercing her heart. She had said it 10,000 times in her heart, that it was impossible for two people to be together. However, when she heard that Ning Cheng was married, she unexpectedly became absent-minded. However, she quickly calmed down. Wasn't it better for him to be married? When she had pushed Zheng Jiun to Ning Cheng, wasn't it because she wanted Ning Cheng and Zheng Jiun to marry? To make up for the guilt in her heart? Thank you. Tian Mu Wan stood up, her face somewhat pale. Seeing Tian Mu Wan's appearance, Lei sighed, and just as Tian Mu Wan was about to walk out of the coffee shop, she spoke. He went to the Feral Brook Mountains once. As for whether he is there or not, I don't know. Tian Mu Wan paused for a moment, did not answer, and quickly walked out. Big brother, how did you become like this? Ning Ruolin, who was cultivating in the miniature world, stood up in horror when she saw Ning Cheng come in. Her big brother's face and hair had turned gray. It was much more serious than the first time she had seen him on Earth. My strength is too low. Every time I cross planes, I have to burn my lifespan as the price. However, you don't have to worry about it. The spiritual qi and the cultivation laws here are much stronger than those on Earth. In this place, I would only need 10 days at most before I can fully recover. Ning Cheng spoke without care. He did not say that it was for Ruolin's sake, otherwise, Ruolin would definitely feel sad in her heart. Seeing Ruolin's crying appearance, Ning Cheng smiled and spoke, Don't worry, once I advance to the sea-opening realm, the lifespan that I lost would come back. It is not a great thing. But for you, your progress is not small. You are already at the Qi-gathering 3rd level. And I listened to your words, and used the spiritual enhancement true nectar to soak in and then cultivate. It really sped up my cultivation by several times. Ning Ruolin was originally very happy that her progress was so fast, but seeing her big brother like this, she really could not be happy. Your cultivation is still low, so continue to cultivate here. I will restore my cultivation outside. In this place, only strength is the absolute truth. Ning Cheng taught Ning Ruolin in a very simple manner. Regarding the matters of the Yixing mainland, Ning Ruolin had already heard from her big brother many times. Now that she heard Ning Cheng's teachings, she certainly would not be careless. Big brother, is this the graceful star mainland? Seeing Ning Ruolin wanting to go out and have a look, Ning Cheng spoke up with a smile, You can cultivate here. This is the bottom of the Blood River. I met elder brother Tsong Wei here, and it was elder brother Tsong Wei who helped me to go to Earth and come back from Earth. When we arrive at the Tian continent, I will take you out. I also know an elder sister from the Tian continent, called Lan Shu. Ning Ruolin was very obedient to her big brother's words. Although she wanted to go out and see what the situation was, her big brother told her not to go out, so she immediately dispelled the idea. Ning Cheng arranged a spiritual gathering array at the place where Tsong Wei was initially trapped and took out tens of millions of spirit stones. The heaven continent's heaven and earth laws were stronger than the earth's, and the spiritual qi here was denser than the earth's. Coupled with the fact that the heaven opening talisman had been left in this place for an unknown period of time, coupled with the spiritual gathering array that Ning Cheng had arranged in this place, the restorative effect was even more formidable. More than half a month later, Ning Cheng had once again recovered to the 4th level of soul sculpting realm, while at the same time, his cultivation had also advanced a step further. Since going to Earth to pick up his sister Ruolin, Ning Cheng had not made any progress. Now that his cultivation had room for improvement, Ning Cheng did not stop, and continued to absorb the spirit stones for cultivation. After another month, Ning Cheng finally broke through to the 5th level of the soul sculpting realm. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness fell into the miniature world. Ruolin's progress was even greater, and she was already at the qi-gathering 5th level. Although Ning Ruolin's cultivation resources were 100 times better than Ning Cheng's, but for her to be able to cultivate to the qi-gathering 5th level in such a short time, it was clear that Ning Ruolin's qualifications were also quite good. A few days later, Ning Cheng brought Ning Ruolin out of the miniature world and arrived at the Lu continent. "Big brother, is this the Yixing mainland?" Ning Ruolin looked at the many lights flying in the sky and felt shocked in her heart. Originally, her big brother was able to use an airship to fly, which had already shocked her greatly. Now that so many people could fly, it was simply like the immortal world. This is just the Lu continent of the Yixing mainland. There are 10 continents in the Yixing mainland, and the Lu continent is just one of them. Do you see the city in front of us? That is the Dragon and Phoenix City of the Lu continent. Let's go to the Dragon and Phoenix City now. I want to see if elder sister Lan Shu has returned or not. If elder sister Lan Shu is not here, then I will take you to the Ping continent. When I first came here, I was in the Ping continent. Ning Qing carefully explained. He did not change his appearance, and with his cultivation at the 5th level of the soul sculpting realm, even if he could not beat the people from the Gui clan, he would not feel any fear. If the Gui clan wanted to seal him like before, then it would simply be a dream. As for going to the Ping continent, Ning Qing wanted to help the Ning clan take revenge. In any case, this predecessor was also his previous life. Chapter 391. The last time I came here, I was almost killed. Ning Cheng pointed to the spiritual treasure house in front of them and spoke to Ning Ruolin. Ning Ruolin looked at the various kinds of people around her and felt somewhat nervous in her heart. Now that she heard her big brother say that he was almost killed in the spiritual treasure house, it made her even more worried. "You don't have to worry, even if my current strength is not as good as others, I will not be afraid of others." Ning Cheng's words suddenly came to a halt. "What's wrong, big brother?" Ning Ruolin could feel the change in her big brother's aura. "Ruolin, I saw the guy who wanted to kill me back then." Ning Cheng spoke in a deep voice. A tall man with a pale complexion also noticed Ning Cheng and swept his gaze towards him. Soon his gaze fell on Ning Cheng. Ning Ruolin spoke up in horror, "Then let's hurry up. I can't get away. He's already seen me. Don't worry, I can see that this fellow is only at the 1st level of Sea Opening Realm. I believe that I can kill him." Ning Cheng spoke out calmly. He had promised elder sister Shu that when he had the strength in the future, he would definitely kill this devil. Just because a 10-year-old girl called him ugly, this devil killed everyone in the homeless sect. He even collected the blood of female cultivators and humiliated the corpses of the female cultivators he killed. When the little girl saw him kill all the people in the sect, he finally killed the little girl who was only 10 years old and threw her off the cliff. Initially, it was because his strength was too weak, but now that he was already at the 5th level of soul sculpting realm, dealing with a cultivator at the 1st level of Sea Opening Realm, Ning Cheng believed that he could definitely do it. Unless his opponent's cultivation technique was as heaven-defying as his, he also had many treasures, and he even had a king's physique. "Kid, it really is you. You've improved so quickly. I guess that even the most talented genius in the entire Lu continent would not be able to match up to you in terms of cultivation speed, right?" The pale-faced man had already arrived in front of Ning Cheng. After he finished speaking with a sneer, he glanced at Ning Ruolin and spoke, "This woman looks good. What do you want?" Ning Cheng calmly asked. He knew that the other party would not dare to start a fight in the Dragon and Phoenix City, but he would also not dare to start a fight in the Dragon and Phoenix City. If the difference in strength between the two of them was too great, then the other party could have easily taken him away. However, now that he was at the 5th level of soul sculpting realm, it was absolutely impossible for the other party to casually take him away. "What do I want?" "Hee, it's very simple. Just follow me out of the city. Otherwise, I will extract your soul and refine it. If you obediently follow me out of the city, I might even accept you as my disciple if I'm happy. You must know that I, Duan Zhang, do not easily accept disciples. For me to accept you as my disciple, it is your good fortune." The man gave a smile, but in his heart he was thinking about the treasures on Ning Cheng's body. Ning Cheng did not speak any nonsense. Lead the way. Duan Zhang looked at Ning Cheng in doubt, and then spoke in a very appreciative manner. A wise man submits to circumstances. You are very tactful. I promise that I will not kill you. Is it Ning Cheng? Jia Lingwei, who had just come out of the spiritual treasure house, looked at the three people walking out of the Dragon and Phoenix City in shock. She had already recognized one of them as Ning Cheng. After coming out of the Law's Way, she had heard all kinds of rumors. Later, she also heard that Ning Cheng had killed Gue Yuhai, but she did not expect that she would actually see Ning Cheng today. No, that's not right. The person who brought Ning Cheng out seemed to have bad intentions towards Ning Cheng. Jia Lingwei's thoughts were meticulous, and she quickly noticed that something was wrong. No matter what kind of rumors it was, she had always been grateful towards Ning Cheng. Now that she saw Ning Cheng appear, moreover it seemed that he was being forced to leave the Dragon and Phoenix village, the first thing she thought of was to quickly find someone to save Ning Cheng. The only person she could look for was her master, Na Xinlan. Her master had just advanced to the first level of Sea Opening Realm, so he should not be afraid of this person. Thinking of this, Jia Lingwei immediately sent a message to her master and carefully followed him. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness was much more powerful compared to his cultivation. As such, when Jia Lingwei followed him out of the Dragon and Phoenix City, he was able to see her. With Ning Cheng's current knowledge and experience, he immediately understood Jia Lingwei's thoughts. Although he was very grateful for Jia Lingwei's gratitude, he didn't think that Jia Lingwei could help much. Moreover, he was not afraid of Duan Zhang at all. After not seeing each other for many years, Jia Lingwei's cultivation had already advanced from the profound congealing realm to the great circle of the profound core realm. With this cultivation, it was still far from being able to help him. Duan Zhang's cultivation was at the first level of Sea Opening Realm, so when Jia Lingwei came out, he also noticed it. He sneered in his heart, so what if he is a disciple of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy? If she did not take the initiative to provoke him, then he would not care about it, but since she took the initiative to provoke him, then she should not blame him for having another furnace. He did not believe that anyone would know that he had taken away a disciple of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy outside the Dragon and Phoenix City. After half an hour, Duan Zhang finally stopped. He turned around and stared at Ning Cheng with a cold gaze and spoke. Bring up your ring, and then seal your meridians. Don't make me waste my effort. In this place, Duan Zhang did not even bother to speak in a hypocritical tone. Ning Cheng simply did not wait for Duan Zhang to finish his words, as 36 small axes rolled up layers upon layers of axe waves as they shot out. At this moment, not only the 36 small axes, but even the shadow of the everlasting Blue Thunder City also shot out. Duan Zhang's cultivation was higher than his, so even if he did not fear him, he still decided to go all out. Seeing her big brother take action, Ning Ruolin simply did not need her big brother's instructions, and had already started to retreat. She was very clear that her cultivation was still too low, as such she had to move far away from her big brother so that he would not have to take care of her. At the same time as the 36 small axes shot out, Duan Zhang immediately exclaimed in surprise, before he immediately cried out in shock. All of them are best quality true artifacts. At this time, his eyes turned red. 36 best quality true artifacts. Even in his dreams he would not be able to obtain them, but now they had unexpectedly appeared in front of him. Duan Zhang had already killed countless people, so he quickly suppressed this kind of surprise. He knew that he had to kill this person in front of him as soon as possible. Only in this way would these things truly belong to him. In the Lu continent, a sea-opening realm cultivator like him did not count for anything. The Lu continent even had many crucible transformation cultivators, not to mention a sea-opening realm. Under the surge of emotions, Duan Zhang raised his hand and brought out his own magical weapon, a pair of white bone scissors. When the scissors opened, it brought out a dense cold qi, causing the surrounding air to seemingly stagnate under this cold qi. These two scissors were just like two incomparably huge doors, as they completely surrounded Ning Cheng's 36 small axes, as if they wanted to cut off Ning Cheng's 36 small axes. Ning Cheng was very disdainful. He really did not know where this Duan Zhang's confidence came from. Not to say that he was just a trivial first-level sea-opening realm, Even if it was an intermediate stage crucible transformation cultivator, they would not dare to say that they would be able to lock away all 36 small axes with a single scissor. But, kaka. The white bone scissors and Ning Cheng's 36 small axes clashed together, causing a violent explosion of true essence to erupt. The area where Ning Cheng and Duan Zhang were fighting was completely thrown into chaos by the explosion of true essence. Ning Ruolin, who was standing at a distance, was simply unable to see clearly, not to mention using her spiritual consciousness to sweep out. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness felt a sharp pain. His 36 small axes seemed to have lost contact with his mind at this moment. In just a breath of time, Ning Cheng understood what was going on. No wonder Duan Zhang dared to have this kind of idea, wanting to use a pair of bone scissors to collect his 36 small axes. It turned out that this pair of scissors also had this kind of effect. It could cut off the connection between his spiritual consciousness and his magical weapon. This was definitely a powerful magical weapon, somewhat similar to the polar gold binding rope that he had snatched from Gui Yuhai. However, this pair of scissors was obviously more powerful than the polar gold binding rope. Even with Ning Cheng's powerful spiritual consciousness, he could feel that his axes were about to lose contact with him. Ning Cheng did not forcibly collect his axes. In this case, forcibly collecting them would be equivalent to being led away by Duan Zhang. Apart from wasting his spiritual consciousness and energy, there would not be any other benefits. Ning Cheng simply ignored the 36 axes as the everlasting Blue Thunder City's shadow smashed down. The everlasting Blue Thunder City had always been a defensive magical weapon. This was the first time that Ning Cheng had used the everlasting Blue Thunder City's shadow to attack. In his sea of consciousness, the everlasting Blue Thunder City could automatically shoot out lightning arcs. However, Ning Cheng did not have any way to make the Blue Thunder City's shadow shoot out lightning arcs. As such, he could only use this kind of forceful smash. A formidable imposing aura and pressure descended. Duan Zhang, on seeing the Blue Thunder City's shadow fall down, was immediately shocked in his heart. What kind of magical weapon was this? He no longer cared about collecting Ning Cheng's 36 small axes, as he once again used the 10,000 bone scissors to cut. He believed that no matter what magic treasure it was, it would be useless against his 10,000 bone scissors. Boom! The shadow of the everlasting Blue Thunder City slammed into Duan Zhang's 10,000 bone scissors, causing it to explode in an instant, while the Blue Thunder City unexpectedly disappeared without a trace. Even if the Blue Thunder City's shadow was destroyed by the 10,000 bone scissors, the powerful backlash still came from it, causing Duan Zhang to be sent flying upside down, causing his true essence to tumble. However, he was very satisfied. After all, his scissors had turned his opponent's powerful attack into nothingness. But not waiting for him to stand firm, an incomparably huge shadow of the Blue Thunder City once again smashed down. Oh no, there's no point in destroying the city's shadow, it can still be regenerated. After Duan Zhang understood this point, he no longer wanted to fight against Ning Cheng's everlasting Blue Thunder City's shadow. He wanted to avoid this Thunder City's shadow. At this moment, the surrounding space suddenly became heavy. Although Duan Zhang's speed was still fast, it simply couldn't be compared to before the shadow of the Blue Thunder City descended. The opposite party was definitely not at the intermediate stages of the soul-sculpting realm. Duan Zhang immediately understood this truth. This kind of powerful spiritual consciousness, even he was not a match for it. The greed he felt from before instantly cooled down. No matter how good the things were, one would still need to be alive to obtain them. Stop. I didn't know that you also had the cultivation of sea-opening realm. I apologize for offending you. Now I will immediately leave, let's mind our own business. Duan Zhang shouted as he once again brought out his 10,000 bone scissors, while simultaneously bringing out 7 red beads. Ning Cheng acted as if he had not heard Duan Zhang's words, as the 36 small axes rolled up a gust of astral wind, completely sealing up the space under the everlasting Blue Thunder City's suppression. Although Duan Zhang wanted to quickly leave the range of the everlasting Blue Thunder City, he was still a step too late. The 7 red beads exploded on top of the 7 small axes whirlpools. Boom 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 boom. 7 consecutive violent explosions rang out. The aftermath of the explosions once again smashed into Ning Cheng's body, but Ning Cheng acted as if he did not feel it at all. However, Duan Zhang's 10,000 ancient scissors once again blocked the rank 5 Blue Thunder City's shadow, and did not let the Blue Thunder City's shadow smash into his body. Unfortunately, Ning Cheng only had 36 axes, not 7. The whirlpools created by the rest of the small axes completely fused together at this time. Just like a huge funnel, it immediately exploded onto Duan Zhang's body. Bang! Duan Zhang's entire lower body was completely blown apart by the powerful whirlpools, as he was sent flying. Although Duan Zhang's cultivation was higher than Ning Cheng's, Ning Cheng did not feel any pressure in his fight with Duan Zhang. He did not even need to bring out his long spear. Chapter 392. Duan Zhang's life essence did not have the time to escape when Ning Cheng threw out a ball of flames and surrounded it. It was not until this moment that Duan Zhang realized that Ning Cheng had followed him out of the city not because he was afraid of him, but rather because he wanted to kill him. Unfortunately, he realized it a bit too late. If he had realized it earlier, then maybe he would have had the opportunity to escape. While the ball of flames surrounded Duan Zhang's life essence, Ning Cheng punched out towards Duan Zhang, who only had half of his body left. Killing you today can be considered as helping elder sister Shu take revenge for the homeless academy. Before Duan Zhang died, he finally understood why Ning Cheng was so determined to kill him. It turned out to be to take revenge for the homeless academy. As for who that elder sister Shu was, he simply did not know. When a ring fell into Ning Cheng's hand, Duan Zhang's corporeal body and soul completely turned into nothingness. You actually killed Duan Zhang? A surprised voice arrived, as Ning Cheng saw a middle-aged female cultivator descend. Master. Jia Lingwei quickly came out from a distance. She had seen Ning Cheng kill this tall cultivator with her own eyes, but she did not know how powerful Duan Zhang was. Ning Cheng understood that Jia Lingwei had called her master over to help. However, her master came a bit too late. By the time her master arrived, he had already killed Duan Zhang. Ning Ruolin quickly ran to stand behind Ning Cheng and stared at Jia Lingwei and her master with vigilance. She had heard from her big brother that people would often kill people for no reason in order to snatch things. Since her big brother had killed that pale-faced man, she did not know if this person would covet him or not. Senior apprentice Sister Lingwei, long time no see. Ning Cheng smiled and cupped his fists. He did not know Jia Lingwei's master. Moreover, the opposite party only had the cultivation of first level of Sea Opening Realm, so he did not care about it. Jia Lingwei quickly spoke up. No, Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, your cultivation is higher than mine, and you even saved my life. Just call me Junior Apprentice Sister Lingwei. The middle-aged female cultivator smiled and spoke. Lingwei, is he Ning Cheng? Jia Lingwei called him Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, and said that he had saved her life. Jia Lingwei's master immediately realized that it should be Ning Cheng. This junior is indeed Ning Cheng, many thanks for Senior's help. Ning Cheng quickly cupped his fists and thanked. The middle-aged female cultivator waved her hand. I didn't help you much. Since you could kill Duan Zhang, it means that your strength is already above mine. My name is Na Xinlan, and I am Lingwei's master. I don't dare to call you senior. Jia Lingwei stared at Ning Cheng in shock, and only after a good while did she ask in amazement, Master, is Senior Apprentice Brother Ning's strength higher than yours? After saying this, Jia Lingwei couldn't believe it at all. When she first saw Ning Cheng seemed to only have the cultivation of essence-building realm. How long has it been? Even Master couldn't compare to him? Although the geniuses in the Lu continent were as numerous as the hairs on an ox, but he had never seen a cultivator who could progress as fast as Ning Cheng. Even Luo Banyun and Bei Xingjin from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy could not cultivate as fast as Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng quickly spoke up, Junior Apprentice Sister Lingwei, this senior is just being modest. I only have the cultivation of soul sculpting realm, and am still far inferior to your respected master. Thank you so much for coming out to help me today. His cultivation was higher than Jia Lingwei's, so he didn't insist when Jia Lingwei insisted on calling him senior brother. Jia Lingwei sighed. Only then did she remember the reason why she came here, and gave a self-deprecating smile. I did not help much. If I had seen you face to face, I might not have believed that you were senior apprentice brother Ning. Your changes are just too big. I did not think that in just 10 years, senior apprentice brother Ning would surpass me by so much. Although Ning Cheng's appearance had changed a bit, Jia Lingwei did not find it strange. However, she did not think that Ning Cheng had changed his appearance in order to avoid his enemies. Many cultivators did not rely on their appearance, but rather on their aura and spiritual consciousness fluctuations. Senior apprentice brother Ning, do you still remember junior apprentice sister Yanji? Jia Lingwei subconsciously looked at Ning Ruolin standing next to Ning Cheng. Ever since Yanji regained her sanity, she immediately stood up to speak for Ning Cheng. She even said that the arrest warrant for Ning Cheng was just nonsense. Jia Lingwei even thought that Ning Cheng and Yanji had some sort of relationship. How could a beautiful girl appear beside Ning Cheng now? Moreover, her cultivation was so poor, only at Qi Gathering 5th level. Ning Cheng saw Jia Lingwei looking at Ning Ruolin, and immediately spoke up. Of course I remember, is Yanji still well? That's right, this is my younger sister Ning Ruolin. Ruolin, these two are senior Na Xinlan and senior apprentice sister Jia Lingwei from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Jia Lingwei suddenly understood, so it turned out to be Ning Cheng's younger sister. Ning Cheng, do you still want to go to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy? Na Xinlan took the initiative to speak up. She had seen Ning Cheng's cultivation progress so rapidly, and knew that Ning Cheng was definitely not ordinary. If he did not have a secret, then his qualifications were really heaven-defying, or he had obtained some kind of inheritance. Because Ning Cheng and her disciple Jia Lingwei were familiar with each other, she wanted her disciple to have a good relationship with Ning Cheng, at least not offend a person like Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng originally wanted to ask about elder sister Shu, but now that Na Xinlan asked about it, he quickly spoke up. When I returned to the Dragon and Phoenix City, I found that Lan Shu and I were wanted. I want to know if elder sister Lan Shu returned to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy? If not, then I will not go. Na Xinlan gave a slight nod. After the arrest warrant appeared, Lan Shu has not appeared. No one has touched her residence. As such, my Dragon and Phoenix Academy is not afraid of the Gui Yuan City and the Wu Nian Academy. If you do not have any special matter, then you can come to my immortal cave. Maybe I have some information that you need. Ning Cheng immediately remembered the Gui clan and the Wu Nian Academy who had opposed him, and spoke up in his heart, then I will have to disturb senior. Na Xinlan, as a cultivator at the first level of Sea Opening Realm, still had a certain status in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Ning Cheng could see from her residence that not only was the spiritual qi incomparably rich, but there was also a separate spiritual medicine mountain. The entire environment was 10 times more beautiful than the place where elder sister Lan Shu lived. Although Ning Ruolin was Ning Cheng's younger sister, but Ning Ruolin's age was not that young, and was only at the Qi Gathering 5th level, as such Na Xinlan did not care about it. Of course, she did not know that Ning Ruolin had only cultivated for 2 or 3 months. After Jia Lingwei served up the spiritual tea, she also quietly sat down next to her master. Na Xinlan did not beat around the bush, and directly asked, Ning Cheng, that year Nalan Rushue said that you and her were husband and wife, is this matter true or false? After Na Xinlan asked, she also observed Ning Cheng. If Ning Cheng felt that it was taboo to ask such a question, then she would immediately change the topic. Ning Cheng did not care about Na Xinlan directly asking this question, as he gave a faint smile and spoke. That senior, although Nalan Rushue thinks that her background is many times more noble than mine, but in my heart, I do not have any impression of her. My Ning Cheng's cultivation might not be as good as the noble disciples of the major academies, but I have my own persistence when it comes to relationships. Let me put it bluntly, that senior does not have to care about it. Even if that Nalan Rushue were to strip naked and lie in front of me, I would not even bother to get on top of her, not to mention forcing myself on her. Ning Cheng's words were very rude, and also very impolite, to the point that he almost directly scolded Nalan Rushue. Even if she knew that he might die in the law's way, this woman still did not forget to use him, and even said that he had forced himself on her. As for the fact that he had saved her life, Nalan Rushue simply did not care about it. If Ning Cheng had a good impression of her, then it would be a strange thing. Big brother? Ning Ruolin whispered a reminder to Ning Cheng from the side. She did not think that her big brother's words were unpleasant to hear, but she was afraid that these words would spread out, which would be detrimental to her big brother. Jia Lingwei's face turned slightly red. She was a relatively introverted person, so when Ning Cheng spoke without any politeness, she could not stand it. In her heart, she also believed that Ning Cheng had not forced himself on Nalan Rushue. Na Xinlan smiled. She did not feel that Ning Cheng's words were harsh to the ears. Instead she spoke up with a smile. Lingwei has always told me that you would not do such a thing. I think that Nalan Rushue should thank you. If not for you killing Gue Yuhai, then maybe she would have already married into the Gue clan. That Gue Yuhai is the most important disciple of the Gue clan. I'm afraid that Gue Zhong would not let it go so easily. Gue Zhong already has the cultivation of Crucible Transformation 3rd level, so you have to be careful. After saying that, Na Xinlan still looked at Ning Cheng. As long as Ning Cheng had some fear towards the Gue clan, she was confident that she could win over Ning Cheng. What made Na Xinlan feel regretful was that Ning Cheng just gave a smile. Even if I and Gue Yuhai did not have any enmity, I would still have killed him. The Gue clan is just as a... His wife, Shi Qianghua, was also a Crucible Transformation cultivator, and the two of them had even killed a Crucible Transformation 7th level cultivator, so why would they fear a mere Gue clan? What's more, he had a way to let the Dragon and Phoenix Academy deal with the Gue clan, unless he misjudged Na Xinlan. Hearing Ning Cheng say that even if he had no enmity with Gue Yuhai, he would still kill Gue Yuhai. Na Xinlan even ignored Ning Cheng's words of contempt towards the Gue clan, and quickly asked, "Why is that?" Ning Cheng did not speak, and directly waved out a few agate red jade boxes and spoke. "Senior Na, this is what I found inside Gue Yuhai's ring after I killed him. Senior Na is very knowledgeable, so I think you can see it more clearly than me." Na Xinlan did not know what Ning Cheng meant by taking out these jade boxes. She doubtfully opened one of the jade boxes and immediately saw a box filled with undergarments. Jia Lingwei's face turned slightly red, as she secretly thought that Ning Cheng really did not know what was good for him, to actually take out a woman's undergarments and put them in front of her master. Moreover, some of these undergarments even made her blush. It was simply too thin. When Na Xinlan first saw the undergarments, she also felt a bit angry in her heart. However, her face immediately changed, as she immediately grabbed one of the undergarments and stared at it for a long time. Even Jia Lingwei knew that something was wrong. Her master had always been very traditional, as such it was absolutely impossible for her to study the undergarments in front of a male cultivator like senior apprentice Brother Ning. It turned out to be the soul-locking wish extraction technique, so insidious. Na Xinlan's complexion had already changed, even her hands were trembling with anger. In just a moment, she had already opened the rest of the boxes. Suddenly she grabbed a pink undergarment from one of the boxes, and spoke with red and swollen eyes. "I always wondered where Man, had gone. I never thought that she would end up being harmed by the Gue clan. Master, senior apprentice Sister Man." Jia Lingwei also understood what was going on, as she stood up in shock. Na Xinlan's face immediately turned gloomy, as she put away the boxes and spoke to Ning Cheng. "Ning Cheng, thank you. I'm going to see the dean immediately. Lingwei, you accompany Ning Cheng. I have something important to do." "Then I know, master." When Jia Lingwei finished, Na Xinlan had already disappeared. Chapter 393. Junior Apprentice Sister Lingwei, what is the soul-locking wish extraction? Ning Cheng waited for Na Xinlan to leave, before quickly asking. He had only started out halfway, and did not have a master to guide him. As such, there were many things that he did not understand. Although his cultivation was higher than Jia Lingwei, but the things that he knew might not necessarily be as much as Jia Lingwei. Jia Lingwei shook her head with red eyes. "I don't know, but master's meaning is that senior apprentice Sister Man might have been killed by Gue Yuhai." How is junior apprentice sister Yenji recently? Seeing Jia Lingwei talking about senior apprentice sister Man, Ning Cheng quickly interjected and once again asked about Yenji. He still had some concern for Yenji, the Lu continent's twin lotus flowers. In Ning Cheng's heart, Yenji was many times higher than Nailan Rushue. He had always thought that Nailan Rushue was not worthy of being on the same level as Yenji. Jia Lingwei sobered up from the contemplation of senior apprentice sister Man and quickly spoke up. It seems that senior apprentice brother Ning does not know a lot of things. The transmission array from the Lu continent to the Tian continent has already been arranged. From the Ping continent to the Lu continent and the other 9 continents' geniuses, all of them will enter the Tian continent through the transmission array. Yenji, Nailan Rushue, Guiyu Tang, Guiyu Hua, Kui Tian, Bei Xingjin, Qing Yixiao, Luo Banyun and dozens of others have all gone to the Tian continent. So that's how it is, junior apprentice sister Lingwei, with your qualifications, you should also be able to go to the Tian continent, right? Ning Cheng suddenly understood. My master said that my strength is not enough, and that I will only go after I reach the soul essence realm. Jia Lingwei replied. Ning Cheng nodded. Jia Lingwei was already at the great circle of the profound core realm. Advancing to the soul essence realm was only a matter of time. Senior apprentice brother Ning, if it is inconvenient for your sister, you can let her join my Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Jia Lingwei knew the meaning of her master. She wanted her to befriend Ning Cheng. If it was an ordinary person having the opportunity to join a 9-star academy, they would definitely be so happy that they would not be able to sleep. However, Ning Cheng did not care about it. He would not want to stay in the Lu continent. He himself would not stay in the Lu continent, so how could he leave his little sister here? Many thanks junior apprentice sister Lingwei, but I still have to take Rulin to do something. Ning Cheng thanked her, but immediately refused. Junior Yenji, Yin Tian, Yen Wei did not say much. He sister, Yin brother, Yen, sister Yin Tian Yin Cheng said. The Blue Cloud Academy regarded her as the #1 genius in their cultivation and attached great importance to their junior apprentice sister Yenji. Junior apprentice sister Yenji requested the Blue Cloud Academy to withdraw the arrest warrant for you and Master Shu. Moreover, she also firmly stands on your side. Afterwards, in just a few years, junior apprentice sister Yenji advanced to the soul essence realm. I'm afraid that junior apprentice sister Yenji's cultivation has already reached the soul sculpting realm. As Jia Lingwei finished speaking, she was very concerned about Ning Cheng's expression. She wanted to know if it was because of Ning Cheng that Yenji's qualifications rose so quickly. She knew that it was only after Yenji came out from the law's way that her qualifications and comprehension ability had reached a whole new level. In the law's way, Yenji and Ning Cheng had the most contact. Perhaps it was because of Ning Cheng's help. Ning Cheng was very grateful to Yenji in his heart. He had also guessed that the reason why Yenji could progress so quickly should be related to the spiritual enhancement True Nectar. However, he would not tell Jia Lingwei these things. From Jia Lingwei, Ning Cheng learned a lot of things. He came to know that the Gui clan had gained another crucible transformation cultivator a few years ago. Not only that, but the Gui clan and the 9 continents army were also very close. According to Jia Lingwei's words, the Gui clan had gotten close to the 9 continents army after Ning Cheng disappeared from the Yixing Ocean. Hearing this, Ning Cheng knew in his heart that even if Na Xinlan was not satisfied with Gui Yuhai's actions, the Dragon and Phoenix Academy would at most be able to discuss the Gui clan and would not be able to destroy the Gui clan. To destroy the Gui clan, it looks like he would have to wait for the future. If Na Xinlan impulsively went to look for the dean on the spot, then maybe it was because of that man or that she had mentioned. Just as Ning Cheng was thinking about these things, Na Xinlan once again returned. Master. Jia Lingwei, on seeing her master return, immediately stood up and called out in anticipation. Na Xinlan's face was a bit desolate. She waved her hand towards Jia Lingwei and then spoke to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng, the Gui clan is too powerful. I'm afraid that these few boxes of undergarments would not be enough to unite with the other forces to bring down the Gui clan. Thank you for helping my disciple take revenge, because the Wu Nian Academy and the Gui clan have a close relationship. my Dragon and Phoenix Academy's hearts are not united. Ning Cheng, on hearing this, already understood what was going on. He stood up and cupped his fists towards Na Xinlan and spoke. Many thanks for Senior Na's help. I will deal with this matter myself in the future. Na Xinlan took out 2 boxes and placed them in front of Ning Cheng and spoke. Out of the 4 boxes, I took out 2 of them from the dean. You can keep these 2 for yourself. In the future you can use them as evidence. Speaking till here, Na Xinlan hesitated for a moment, before continuing. Originally I was going to ask you to stay in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy for a while, but now it seems that it is not possible. The Gui clan will soon come to know that you have come to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, although Gui Zhong is not in the Gui Yuan city. I suggest that you leave this place as soon as possible, and come back in the future when you have the strength to do so. Seeing the desolate look in Na Xinlan's eyes, how could Ning Cheng not know what was going on? The Dragon and Phoenix Academy definitely had a few people who were leaning towards the Gui clan. Na Xinlan had even plotted against her own disciple by the Gui clan, but she could only discuss the Gui clan a bit. From this, it could be seen that if he wanted to destroy the Gui clan, he would have to rely on himself. Na Xinlan tried to persuade him to leave this place as soon as possible, because she knew that the matter of her coming to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy would soon be leaked out. Ning Cheng secretly sighed. Taking revenge in the end still had to rely on his own fists. The last time he had schemed in the Tian continent for such a long time, the Severing Emotions Dao sect was still there. From this it could be seen that strength was the most fundamental thing. I would like to ask Senior, what is the soul-locking wish extraction? Ning Cheng asked as he put away the 2 boxes. Na Xinlan did not hide anything from Ning Cheng. I came to know about it when I went to the mystic realm with the people from the Gui clan. Everyone has a kind of power of hope. This kind of power of hope can grow because of certain things, and even continue to form on one's own body. The collection of the power of hope is very difficult. I heard that incense can be used to collect the power of hope. Of course, I am not clear about this. At that time, we also saw another method of collecting the power of hope on an altar. Other than me, there were also the Gui clan's Gui Feng and the Wu Nian Academy's Di Xianqing. That is to lock the soul of a virgin woman, and then extract the power of hope through an array formation. This kind of power of hope would finally attach itself to the woman's undergarments, and then be used again. Only virgins have the most powerful power of hope. As such, this method of collecting the power of hope does not require the use of incense. Because this method is incomparably ruthless, moreover the extracted virgin's soul would scatter away, and even the essence blood would not remain. The 3 of us agreed that this method was too vicious. Moreover, as for what the power of hope was used for, no one knew. Therefore, we unanimously destroyed this method of recording, and also made an agreement to never reveal this kind of thing. I did not expect that it would be used by the Gui clan's Gui Yuhai. It can be seen that Gui Feng did not abide by his promise. Ning Cheng, on hearing till here, came to understand that the Gui clan must have obtained the true Brahma sword. Gui Yuhai knew that this thing needed the power of hope to drive. However, he did not have the power of hope, and as a result, Gui Feng passed on this vicious method to him. Many thanks, Senior Na. This junior will now take his leave. Ning Cheng once again thanked Na Xinlan, before pulling Ning Ruolin and quickly leaving. Master, if senior apprentice brother Ning stays in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, then who would dare to make a move against him? Jia Lingwei asked in a puzzled manner. Na Xinlan shook her head, and did not directly answer Jia Lingwei's words, and just spoke. Lingwei, prepare yourself. After you advance to the Soul Essence realm, you will immediately head to the Tian continent. Big brother, this flight-type magical weapon seems to be a lot faster than the one in front. Ning Ruolin could feel that this airship was much faster, and immediately spoke up. Ning Cheng smiled and spoke. Of course, this is a low-grade true artifact airship. Its speed is certainly not something that a spiritual artifact airship can compare to. Ning Cheng had snatched this low-grade true artifact airship from the hands of Qi Lu. Qi Lu was a Crucible Transformation 7th level cultivator. As such, how could a Crucible Transformation cultivator's flight-type magical weapon be bad? Then where are we going now? Ning Ruolin knew that a true artifact was of a higher grade than a spiritual artifact, But she had just arrived in the Yixing mainland, as such she did not have an intuitive concept. Let's first go to the Angry Axe Valley to have a look. If we can't find what I want, then we will return to the Ping continent. Ning Cheng replied. He wanted to go to the Angry Axe Valley because he wanted to know if he could enter the Angry Axe Valley after the last incident. If he could go in, then Meng Jingxiu had given him a map, so he wanted to see if the immortal mansion of Lan Wei existed. If the immortal mansion existed, then he would not have to worry about not having enough cultivation resources. It did not matter if the immortal mansion did not exist, as it would not waste much time. If he wanted to return to the Ping continent, then he would have to pass through the entrance of the Angry Axe Valley to the Jia continent. Wherever Big Brother goes, I will follow. Ning Rulin gave an N sound. Whether it was Earth or the Yixing mainland, she only had her big brother as her family. After Ning Cheng hesitated for a moment, he still spoke up. Rulin, I want to tell you something. You don't have to be nervous, and don't panic. Big brother, just say it, I won't be nervous. Ning Rulin snorted. Her big brother was already together with her. What else was there for her to be nervous about? Actually, I came to the Yixing mainland because of a bead. When Ning Cheng spoke about his reincarnation into his past life, Ning Rulin was so shocked that she could not even speak a single word. Was there anything else that could shock her more than this? If she had not followed Ning Cheng to the Yixing mainland, then she really would not have believed her big brother's words. Although she was sure that Ning Cheng was her big brother, but after all, this reincarnation thing was just too outrageous. Big brother, is what you said true? It's true. Sigh. After a good while, Ning Rulin took a deep breath as she held Ning Cheng's arm and sobbed. Tian Muwan, that woman is really not a good thing. She almost caused my big brother to lose his life. Ning Rulin also had the cultivation of Qi gathering 5th level. If she had not cultivated before, then she would not have believed Ning Cheng's words. But now, she was also clear that this kind of thing was very normal. Feeling Rulin's attachment to him, Ning Cheng felt very fortunate in his heart. Fortunately, he had gone to pick up his little sister, otherwise his little sister would have definitely been lonely on Earth. After a while, Ning Rulin suddenly thought of something as she eagerly asked, Big brother, if sister-in-law Luofei is in the Ping continent, how will you introduce our relationship? Ning Cheng was just about to say that Luofei should not be in the Ping continent, but the words stuck in his mouth as he remembered Shi Qianghua. Shi Qianghua's matter, he had not told his little sister about it, so how should he bring it up? Could he tell Rulin that she had a sister-in-law called Shi Qianghua? Chapter 394. Ning Cheng thought about it and decided not to tell Rulin about this matter. In the future when he met Qianghua, Rulin would not object to it. In the past, Ning Cheng had to travel from the Jia continent to the Le continent in 1 or 2 months, and had to go through the Yixing Ocean. Now Ning Cheng did not go through the Yixing Ocean, but rather directly across several continents. With the speed of the low-grade flight-type true artifact, it only took him half a month to arrive at the entrance to the Angry Axe Valley in the Jia continent. Although he passed through a vast desert and swamp, but facing Ning Cheng's low-grade flight-type true artifact, ordinary flying monstrous beasts simply could not catch up to him. Occasionally there were some fast monstrous beasts, but Ning Cheng easily killed them. As soon as Ning Cheng arrived at the Angry Axe Valley, he knew that the array formations and restrictions that the powerhouses had arranged in the Angry Axe Valley were useless. At this time, the entrance was still covered with a white mist, but there was no longer any roaring sound. In addition to this, there was a building in the surroundings with many cultivators coming and going. After letting Ning Rulin enter the miniature world, Ning Cheng arrived near the entrance. He had not yet approached the building when he used his spiritual consciousness to see a small transmission array. A cultivator in the Essence Building realm wearing a yellow robe was standing guard next to the transmission array. Excuse me, is this the transmission array to enter the Angry Axe Valley? Ning Cheng walked to the side of the cultivator and asked. There is a notice on the side, don't you know how to read it yourself? Facing Ning Cheng's question, the cultivator in charge of the transmission array pointed to the notice. Ning Cheng had already noticed the notice on the side. Any cultivator who wanted to enter the Angry Axe Valley would have to pay 50,000 high-grade spirit stones. Even if they wanted to teleport out, they would still have to pay 50,000 high-grade spirit stones. Moreover, Ningcheng also noticed that at this time the Angry Axe Valley no longer had any cultivation restrictions, anyone could enter. Excuse me, is there only one transmission array to enter the Angry Axe Valley in the Jia continent? Ningcheng asked again after reading the notice. The male cultivator in charge of the transmission array seemed to have noticed that Ningcheng was somewhat extraordinary and replied, "Of course not, there are a total of 2, in addition to this place, there is another one in the southern continent. So, if you want to go from the Jia continent to the southern continent, then you only have to teleport from here to the Angry Axe Valley, then teleport out from the other transmission array?" Ningcheng knew that going from an intermediate class continent to an advanced class continent would be very difficult, even if he wanted to. Although it was easy for him, it was because he had a very high cultivation. The male cultivator in charge of the teleportation array did not have much patience this time, as he sneered and said, "You can go to the southern continent and try." Not to mention that the distance between the Jia continent's transmission array in the Angry Axe Valley and the south continent's transmission array was not shorter than walking outside. Moreover, the monstrous beasts inside the Angry Axe Valley were much more powerful than the outside. Moreover, in the Angry Axe Valley, it was very difficult to use a flight-type magical weapon. Ningcheng did not ask again, and directly paid the 50,000 spirit stones, and entered the Angry Axe Valley. After coming out of the transmission array in the Angry Axe Valley, Ningcheng came to know that this place was even more lively than the outside. There were even some simple shops set up on the side of the transmission array, with many cultivators coming and going. The Angry Axe Valley was already treated as an open mystic place. However, most of these cultivators did not have high cultivations. For example, Ningcheng's cultivation was at the 5th level of soul sculpting realm, which was already considered as a top-notch expert in this place. In the Angry Axe Valley, using a flight-type magical weapon was indeed very difficult, but for Ningcheng he simply did not need a flight-type magical weapon. The speed of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds was much faster and more convenient than any flight-type magical weapon. The map that Meng Jingxiu had given him was very clear. Coupled with the speed of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, Ningcheng only spent 3 days to reach the place that Meng Jingxiu had drawn on the map. According to the map that Meng Jingxiu had given him, the place that was drawn on the map was a boundless forest. According to the markings on the map, there were countless lakes in this forest. As long as he found a cross-shaped lake, he would be able to reach it. Moreover, this cross-shaped lake also had a direction, which was the direction that these trees were moving in. Every day, for a few breaths of time, these trees would be blown in the same direction by the wind. As long as he followed this direction, he would definitely be able to find the cross-shaped lake. After Ningcheng entered this forest, he deliberately sensed it for an entire day. After a day passed by, not to mention that he could feel the trees being blown in a certain direction, he was not even aware of the slightest bit of wind. Ningcheng did not continue to foolishly wait. His spiritual consciousness was much more powerful than that of an average cultivator. In this place, even if it was not in the direction of the trees, he would still be able to find the cross-shaped lake. This forest was simply incomparably huge, with a radius of nearly 10,000 miles. Even if that was the case, on the 4th day, Ningcheng was still able to find the cross-shaped lake. This cross-shaped lake was a lot bigger than what Ningcheng had imagined. It was composed of 2 intersecting lakes, spanning nearly 20 to 30 miles. According to the map, the immortal mansion of Lan Wei was located at the bottom of the lake in the center of the cross-shaped lake. In this place, there was a huge boulder with a radius of 10 feet. Standing on top of this boulder, one would be able to feel the immortal mansion. As for how to enter the immortal mansion, or how to obtain the immortal mansion, it was not recorded on the map. Before reaching the bottom of the lake, Meng Jingxiu had given him a map that he could follow, which made Ningcheng feel very excited in his heart. But when Ningcheng finally stood at the bottom of the lake, he was disappointed. He did not see the huge boulder with a radius of 10 feet as stated on the map. There was only some sand and stones at the bottom of the lake. The map also stated that one could only feel the immortal mansion by standing on top of the boulder, but he did not even see the boulder. How could he feel it? Ning Cheng swept out with his spiritual consciousness to carefully observe, and soon found a concealment array formation. The level of this array formation was not low, it was a rank 7 array formation. If not for his attainments in array formations reaching this level, he would not necessarily be able to see it. As Ning Cheng threw out a few array flags, the concealment array formation soon revealed itself. At this time, Ning Cheng was able to see it clearly. This should not be an array formation, but rather an array disk. This concealment array disk concealed the entire area. If one was not proficient in array formations, then they would not be able to see it. In the center of the concealment array disk, Ning Cheng found a storage bag. Ning Cheng immediately knew that someone had deliberately left it behind. This array disk had not been placed here for a long time. Ning Cheng knew that even if there was an immortal mansion, it would have already been taken by someone else. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness opened the storage bag and found a small jade box inside the storage bag. Even the jade box was not able to contain the rich spiritual qi, causing it to overflow. Ning Cheng quickly opened the storage bag, and 3 crystal-clear crystal stones appeared in front of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng almost called out. He was too familiar with this thing. Originally, that old fogey had given him a broken crystal stone. It was precisely this kind of crystal stone. Relying on that broken crystal stone, his cultivation had skyrocketed, and now he unexpectedly obtained 3 such crystal stones. It was simply too happy. Ning Cheng quickly put away the jade box, took out the jade strip, and swept it with his spiritual consciousness. Big brother Ning, I took the things away. When I came in to look for these things, I did not intend to live. I did not expect that when I came here, I would be recognized by this thing as its master. Unfortunately, my cultivation is limited and can only obtain 6 of these crystal stones. As for the others, I can only obtain them after my cultivation improves. Originally, I should have given these things to Big Brother Ning, but I must avenge the blood feud of my parents. After my parents were killed, I went to find Big Brother, but Big Brother had already left. Because of my identity, I cannot speak to those big academies, so I could only find a way to come here. Thank you for bringing me the magical weapon. Without that magical weapon, I would not have been able to come here. If the one who obtained my things is not my big brother Ning, then forget about it, he is not even famous. Ning Cheng put away the jade strip. In his heart he was happy for Meng Jingxiu, but at the same time he was also somewhat sad. He had seen Meng Jingxiu's mother once. At that time Meng Jingxiu's father was still in the Jia continent's cultivator army. How many years had it been? Meng Jingxiu's parents had met with an accident. When Meng Jingxiu said that she could not speak to the big academies, she should be referring to Nailan Rushue. Ning Cheng also knew that even if Meng Jingxiu could speak to Nailan Rushue, she would not be able to go to the Le continent. Fortunately, Meng Jingxiu had obtained the recognition of the immortal mansion. Ning Cheng believed that with her qualifications, with these things, her cultivation would definitely progress much faster than him. After leaving the Angry Axe Valley, Ning Cheng did not immediately return to the Ping continent, rather he went to the Yixing Ocean's Pubu Island. The reason he came here was to inquire about who killed Meng Jingxiu's parents, and also to see Kong Peng Peng. When he had escaped, Kong Peng Peng had helped him a lot. What's more, he also had the title of a 5-star junior commander in the Yizheng battalion. Ning Cheng did not want to be too ostentatious. He used an ordinary spiritual artifact airship, but the airship was stopped at the periphery of the Pubu Island. Ning Cheng did not know that he had left the Yizheng battalion for so many years, but his 5-star junior commander status was still there. So when the cultivator army came up, he directly took out his 5-star junior commander shoulder card and handed it over. I am the Yizheng battalion's 5-star junior commander Ning Cheng. Yizheng battalion? The 2 cultivator soldiers who stopped Ning Cheng were obviously a little surprised. Is there a problem? I came back from the Law's Way, because I was delayed in the Law's Way for a few years. Ning Cheng explained. The 2 cultivator soldiers who stopped Ning Cheng confirmed that Ning Cheng's shoulder card was correct, and showed a sympathetic look as they invited Ning Cheng to enter the Pubu Island. Ning Cheng first arrived at his junior commander mansion, but he did not see his familiar subordinate Yang Honghua, nor did he see Nen Yuefeng who he had gifted the black-silver warship to. There were only a few cultivator soldiers who he did not know standing guard at the entrance of the junior commander mansion. When Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept into the junior commander mansion, he found that the array formations and restrictions that he had arranged in the past were all gone. Not to mention that all of them had been cancelled, he even arranged a new restriction. Ning Cheng was not angry about this. This junior commander mansion was originally gifted to him by Kong Pingpeng. Kong Pengpeng knew that he had escaped, so it was normal for him to take this junior commander mansion and give it to his other subordinates. In any case, he was not going to stay here. This time he came here to take a look. It did not matter if he did not have this junior commander mansion or not. Since the junior commander mansion was not his, Ning Cheng simply did not enter the junior commander mansion and directly went to Kong Pingpeng's general mansion. But what made Ning Cheng even more puzzled was that Kong Pingpeng's general mansion was sealed. Moreover, looking at the traces on it, it seemed that it had been sealed for a long time. Ning Cheng felt that something was not right. He guessed that Kong Pingpeng had committed a big crime. Otherwise, with Kong Pingpeng's status, he should not have ended up like this. "Excuse me, are you Junior Commander Ning?" A somewhat uncertain voice called out. Ning Cheng saw that the one who called out to him was an early-stage true condensation cultivator, as he quickly spoke. "That's right, I am the Yizheng Battalion's 5-star junior commander Ning Cheng." Chapter 395. Go to the side, this is not a place for you. Ning Cheng had just arrived outside the walls of the courtyard, when a cultivator soldier with the cultivation of true condensation realm came out and stopped Ning Cheng. At this time, the two of them had already arrived outside a small wooden building. Uncle Che Yang led Ning Cheng into the wooden building and closed the door before speaking. "One of the two guards outside checking on you is a friend of mine. I told him that once Junior Commander Ning came back, he was to immediately inform me. The day before Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua were arrested, Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang came to find me. At that time, Yang Honghua was also there. He told me that Junior Commander Ning would definitely come back." Even so, after Ning Cheng entered the death cell, the entire Pubu Island still erupted with ear-piercing alarms. This alarm instantly woke up the entire Pubu Island, and countless cultivator soldiers instantly rushed towards the direction of the Pubu Island's death cell. Even several generals quickly rushed over. The Pubu Island had been fighting against the Yixing Ocean's cultivator army for many years. Moreover, it was located on an island, so this kind of quick vigilance was reflected at this moment. The Yixing Ocean's side was even more unscrupulous. It was obvious that the Black Silver warship was snatched by Ning Cheng when the two sides had not yet reached a truce. But now the other party said that after both sides made peace, Nan Yuefang, in order to obtain the Black Silver warship, wantonly killed the cultivators from the Yixing Ocean and even snatched the Black Silver warship. Since Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua were imprisoned in the death cell, it had nothing to do with these guards. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, Ning Cheng stood in front of a courtyard wall covered with array formations and restrictions. From Count Che Yang's mouth, he came to know that this place was the Pubu Island's death cell. Although he had not seen Ning Cheng before, but he had heard the rumors about this junior commander Ning. When he was in the essence building realm, he had challenged the profound congealing cultivator Wei Peng and ended up killing Wei Peng. Slowly taking in a deep breath, Ning Cheng calmed down his mood. Since he had started cultivating till now, he had even offended a super academy like the Severing Emotions Dao sect. As such a trivial cultivator army from the Pubu Island, he did not even put them in his eyes. If it was really because of him, then he did not mind turning the entire Pubu Island upside down. Did General Kong Pingpeng also end up in the death cell? Ning Cheng asked in a cold voice. Logically speaking, even if the two sides had temporarily reconciled, the past should not be brought up. However, the matter of Ning Cheng killing Shen Tuyun ended up causing the Yixing Ocean to come knocking on their door. Originally, they wanted to use some other excuse, but the Lu Continent's cultivator army pretended not to see it and did not care about it. A soldier with the cultivation of true condensation realm, Ning Cheng did not put him in his eyes. In the Pubu Island, even if there were crucible transformation experts, he would not be afraid of them. When the cultivator soldier heard that it really was Ning Cheng, he quickly spoke up, "Junior Commander, please come with me." Senior Junior Commander. Count Che Yong called out in panic. Ning Cheng's murderous intent was so intense, how could he not know what this Junior Commander Ning wanted to do? As for Kong Cheng, he was the one who presided over the Hua Continent's tournament of the 5-star academies, and the first time he entered the Angry Axe Valley, he was almost caught by this person. This person suspected that he had peeped into the secret of the leather scroll during the competition and coveted the things on him, so it was normal for him to come here to find him. Nan Yuefang's hair was disheveled, and her clothes were barely covering her body as she sat in the corner of a dark cell. However, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness knew that she was not cultivating. A chain pierced through her shoulder, severing her meridians. She couldn't cultivate at all. Ning Cheng suddenly stopped. Did you say that Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang was put on death row? But what about Yang Honghua? Ning Cheng's tone turned cold. He was one of the 4 junior commanders of the Yizheng battalion. Even if he left, and someone else took over his junior commander position, wouldn't it be to the point of putting his number 1 general, Nan Yuefang, into the death cell? Uncle Che Yong quickly replied, what happened after that, the entire Pubu Island knows about it. Because of this matter, General Kong Ping Peng was very angry. General Kong stood up and said that they should not have arrested Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua. As a result, because of this matter, General Kong was jointly attacked by the commander of the Yihai Battalion, Lao Yu, and the commander of the Chang Battle Battalion, Ni Gang, saying that Kong Peng Peng was shielding him. Nan Yuefang knew that it would be difficult for her to escape, so she engraved this jade strip. She had only asked her subordinates to deliver the jade slips with the slightest bit of hope. Because apart from Ning Cheng, she did not know anyone else who could help her. Feeling Ning Cheng's ice-cold killing intent, Count Che Yong unconsciously shuddered. Ning Cheng did not hesitate for even half a moment. The long spear in his hand shot out, and several entrapment arrays immediately shattered under his long spear like eggshells. Speaking of which, Kong Peng Peng had helped him a lot, but now he had really implicated the other party. As Ning Cheng thought of this, he felt somewhat guilty in his heart. Ning Cheng completely understood what was going on. He knew about Lao Yu. He had heard that he was originally from the Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy. When he was in the Pubu Island, Lao Yu was a general. His nephew Lao Sheng and he had a small enmity. He estimated that under the provocation of Yong Gu Yun, this enmity would be infinitely magnified. Count Che Yong spoke with some anger. At that time, the battle took place just outside the Pubu Island, not to mention me, even the entire Pubu Island's cultivator army saw it. At that time, because the commander of the Pubu Island, General Xin Yuhong, was not there, as a result no one dared to stop it. Yang Honghua was also sent to the death row. It is estimated that he would not even have his life left. Count Che Yong carefully spoke. Thinking of the leather scroll, Ning Cheng's mind instantly flashed with countless images. Ning Cheng quickly suppressed these images. He felt that this leather scroll was not ordinary. It was just that he did not have the time to think about it, but since Kong Cheng had come knocking on his door, then he could not blame him for being impolite. If he met this fellow, then he would definitely snatch that leather scroll. However, the Tian continent's heaven's way had once again opened, and the 9 continents wanted to arrange a transmission array to reach the Tian continent, causing the cultivators from the Yixing Ocean to feel tempted. The Yixing Ocean's cultivator army took the initiative to make peace with the cultivator army of the 9 continents. Not only did they share the law's way, but they also jointly built the transmission array. They had only just reacted, when the next moment Ning Cheng blasted open the array formation and rushed into the death row courtyard wall. In just a short time, all the cultivator soldiers who were standing were knocked unconscious by him. Ning Cheng himself was a junior commander of the cultivator army, as such he did not kill indiscriminately. How did you know that I was coming? Ning Cheng asked in a deep voice. Ning Cheng took the jade strip and swept it with his spiritual consciousness, and soon his complexion turned ugly to look at. This matter really did have something to do with him. Ning Cheng did not speak any nonsense, as he raised his hand and slapped the cultivator soldier, directly knocking him unconscious. As the place where the Pubu Island held the prisoners, not only were there many restrictions and array formations, but there were also a lot of cultivator soldiers guarding this place. When Ning Cheng knocked out a cultivator soldier in the true condensation realm, the rest of the people immediately understood that someone had broken into the prison. Count Che Yong excitedly received the essence-building pill with both hands. He had never thought that one day he would be able to get his hands on this kind of pill. The reason why he wanted to help Nan Yuefang was because Nan Yuefang was his superior in the past and had also given them a lot of benefits. What happened to General Kong Pingpeng? Nan Yuefang's jade strip did not mention Kong Pingpeng, but Ning Cheng knew that Kong Pingpeng must have met with some kind of accident. Ning Cheng showed a faint smile. You don't have to worry about it, I have a sense of propriety, you just have to tell me. Right, I have an essence-building pill here, I will give it to you as a token of my gratitude. It was not until Ning Cheng blasted open the cell that Nan Yuefang was in, that Nan Yuefang was awakened by the loud noise, as she slowly raised her head. Ning Cheng nodded and spoke. Can you tell me where the death row courtyard is? How did you know? Ning Cheng asked again. After seeing Nan Yuefang, Ning Cheng finally saw Yang Honghua. What made Ning Cheng feel relieved was that Yang Honghua was crawling on the floor of another cell, but he was not dead, as there was also a chain running through Yang Honghua's meridians. Moreover, Ning Cheng did not know what kind of opportunity Yang Honghua had obtained, which allowed him to advance to the essence-building first level. Otherwise, Ning Cheng estimated that he would have died a long time ago. Although Ning Cheng had once served as a junior commander in the Pubu Island, but he was not a steward, not to mention that he did not know where the death row courtyard was, he was not even clear about the direction of the commander's mansion. After entering the death row courtyard, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out unscrupulously, and in just a few breaths, he was able to find Nan Yuefang's position. Its junior commander Ji, called Ji Minkai, I heard that he already has the cultivation of second level of Sea Opening Realm. Count Che Yang replied with some worry. He could hear that Ning Cheng's tone was not good. I am called Count Che Yang, originally under the Yizheng Battalion's Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang. After Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang was sent to the death row courtyard, I left the barracks, and now became a small merchant. As the cultivator soldier walked, he spoke in a low voice. Count Che Yang did not speak, but took out a jade strip and handed it to Ning Cheng and spoke. Junior Commander sir, this was left behind by Junior Marquis Nan Yuefang. She said that if you came back, then I would give it to you. If you did not come back, then when I left the Pubu Island, I would destroy it. Count Che Yang quickly replied. General Kong knew that someone wanted to deal with him, and immediately escaped from the Pubu Island. The result was that he was besieged by General Lao Yu and General Ni Gang, as well as Kong Chung from the Jia Continent's Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy, and finally disappeared without a trace. The problem was that he had killed a profound congealing cultivator from the Yixing Ocean by the name of Shintu Yun, and had even snatched away that person's black-silver warship. But this Shintu Yun's background was not small, and was a person from the Yixing Ocean's Mu Imperial Palace. Originally, the Yixing Ocean's Cultivator Army and the Nine Continents Cultivator Army were like fire and water, but this was not a big deal. Ning Cheng had a bad premonition in his heart. Yang Honghua and Nan Yuefang were both from his junior commander battalion. Even if something happened to Nan Yuefang, how could it be such a coincidence that Yang Honghua also met with an accident? Moreover, Ni Gang's subordinate Wei Peng had engaged in a life-and-death battle with him on the battle ring, which resulted in Wei Peng being killed by him, causing Ni Gang and Kong Peng to form an enmity with him. Who is in charge of the Pubu Island now, and what is the cultivation level? When Ning Cheng spoke these words, he had already planned to make a scene here. Did he kill the wrong enemy in the past? Moreover, for an enemy that he had killed, he even imprisoned his own subordinate. Ning Cheng put away the jade strip as a murderous intent rose in his heart. Since the Lu Continent's Cultivator Army did not care about this kind of thing, then there was definitely a problem. The Yixing Ocean's Cultivator Army was not as strong as the Nine Continents Cultivator Army. Even if they made peace, it was impossible for the Nine Continents Cultivator Army to ignore this kind of thing, unless someone was covering it up from the inside. Ning Cheng nodded. You speak, what is the specific matter? Even the place of General Kong Peng was sealed. Chapter 396. Bang! An explosive sound erupted, as Ni Gang was abruptly blasted into pieces by the spear. Ning Qing casually grabbed a ring. Among the people in front of him, he had seen several of them before, but the only one he could name was Ni Gang. Ni Gang was the commander-in-chief of the Chang Battle Battalion, and at this time had a cultivation at the peak of the Soul Essence realm. Among the cultivator army, the highest cultivation was at the second level of Sea Opening realm. No matter who you are, since you forcibly broke open my Pubu Island's death prison, then you are the enemy of my Jia Continent's cultivator army. I heard that you were originally from the Jia Continent's cultivator army. I do not want you to continue making mistakes. If you are willing to surrender, then I can give you the fairest result. The cultivator at the second level of Sea Opening realm spoke in a calm tone. If not for the cultivator army's opinion on this matter, he would have already started. Ning Qing patted his shoulder and spoke. Those people are already here. I already know how you and Junior Markinen came here. These words can be said later. Let's go out first. Ning Qing was simply too lazy to answer this voice. He brought Nen Yuefang and Yang Honghua out of the death prison, only to find that the outside was surrounded by countless cultivator soldiers. When Yang Honghua saw the Jia Continent's cultivator army outside, his face turned pale. But Nan Yuefang did not change much. In any case, it would not be as desperate as when she was trapped in the death prison. She glanced at Ning Qing in front of her, and was somewhat worried in her heart that this junior commander Ning would also be dragged in. Ji Minkai was very depressed in his heart. He was the one who stirred up trouble. When Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua were imprisoned, he was not a member of the Jia Continent's cultivator army. At that time, it was Xin Yuhong who made the decision. Xin Yuhong's cultivation was higher than his, and his status was also higher than his. In front of the Jia Continent's cultivator army, to offend two small characters, he was not willing to do so. Just as he was about to speak, Ning Qing once again spoke in a cold voice. It is not that I do not want to kill people, but from now on, if you are not willing to associate with Ni Gang and Lao Yu, then please step back, otherwise I will treat you all as the enemy of the Yizheng battalion. The reason why Ning Qing dared to say these words was because he knew that Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua's meridians were only cut halfway and were not broken. If it was really destroyed, there was nothing he could do. That would require the Amethyst Firmament Glaze essence. He still had some Amethyst Firmament Glaze essence left, but it was not enough to save the two of them. However, even if his meridians were to be cut off midway, he could still use the Profound Replenishment Pill to reconnect them. This was completely different from Elder Sister Shu's situation. After understanding this, Ji Minsai's back suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. That was close. If he had really given the order or taken action, it would have been very difficult for him to get away with it. No wonder he dared to destroy the Pubu Island's death prison. This kind of cultivation was enough to sweep away the entire Pubu Island. Junior Commander Ning, my meridians. Nan Yuefang's joy only lasted for a few breaths, before she once again turned gloomy. Regardless of whether Ning Qing could save her or not, she was already crippled. Speaking till here, this bald-headed man seemed to be extremely angry, as he bowed towards the cultivator at the Sea Opening second level and spoke. Commander Ji, Ni Gang requests to go to war. He requests to capture this lawless thief and interrogate him, and ask him where Kong Preng Preng escaped to in the end. A trivial junior commander dares to attack the Pubu Island's cultivator army's death prison? A Soul Essence 9th level cultivator with a pale face subconsciously took a few steps back. Ning Qing immediately knew that this person was definitely Lao Yu. Ning Qing casually took out a robe and handed it to Nan Yuefang and spoke. You do not have to worry about your meridians. Even if your core lake is broken, I still have a way to deal with it. You can change your clothes first, and wait for me to rescue Yang Honghua. Junior Commander Ning. Yang Honghua was convinced that the person who had come to save him was really Ning Qing, and immediately became excited. Nan Yuefang finally recognized Ning Qing, although she had left behind a jade strip before coming in, but it was only a helpless action. She had never thought that Ning Qing would really be able to come here. Two small axes, one in front of the other, shot towards Lao Yu, while Ning Qing's long spear once again cut through the space between him and Lao Yu. This has nothing to do with me, someone wanted Kong Pingping's spiritual enhancement true nectar, and then looked for her. Lao Yu's words suddenly stopped, as a black long spear pierced through his glabella. One move, or rather it was not even a single move. In just half a move, Ning Cheng had killed Ni Gang, the commander of the Jia Continent's cultivator army. At this moment, almost all the cultivator soldiers had their mouths wide open as they stared at Ning Cheng. Was this really the cultivation of Crucible Transformation Realm? Ni Gang's bravery was well known in the Pubu Island. Fortunately, Ning Cheng had a lot of pills on him. As such, after removing Yang Honghua's chains, he only needed to consume a single pill, and Yang Honghua immediately woke up. This person is the Pubu Island's new junior commander Ji Min Kai. I heard that he came from the Lu continent. Yang Honghua whispered from behind Ning Cheng. Ji Min Kai originally wanted to speak, but when he saw many of the soldiers from the Yizheng battalion taking the initiative to retreat, he immediately felt his heart move and did not continue to speak. Since things had already happened, why would he continue to be a villain? Coming to the Jia Continent's cultivator army for a few years, in the future he would have to go to Heaven's Way. If Ni Gang could kill this junior commander Ning, then he would be happy to see it happen. After killing the two commanders, Ning Cheng acted as if nothing had happened, as he put away the ring and walked towards Ji Min Kai. The cultivator at the second level of Sea Opening Realm could vaguely see that Ning Cheng's cultivation was not as high as his, although he was not sure about it, but seeing Ning Cheng's young appearance made him feel relieved. In case someone with a higher cultivation than him, and the Pubu Island did not have any Crucible Transformation cultivators, it would definitely not be a good thing. Lao Yu had personally seen the process of Ning Cheng killing Ni Gang. He was just about to escape, when he felt the space around him stagnate. A black and a gold axe light completely wrapped around him. He simply did not have any way to escape. In the past, when Kong Peng Peng was forced to leave, there was no one to take the lead, but now that Ning Cheng stood up, no one was willing to sell their lives for Ni Gang. Even the new commander of the Yizheng battalion did not have to stand up. Commander Ji, if this matter is not dealt with seriously, then my Jia Continent's cultivator army would be in a state of disunity. There would no longer be any military laws. Seeing Ji Min Kai hesitate, Ni Gang once again spoke up. Ning Cheng had long wanted to kill this guy, but he did not expect that before he could even go up, this guy would actually take the initiative to come up. Bringing out the black spear, it rolled up an ice net spear light. Among the cultivator soldiers, there were also some from the Yizheng battalion. Hearing Ning Cheng's words, the people from the Yizheng battalion immediately took the initiative to retreat. The cultivator army and the ordinary army were not the same. Even if they were not part of the cultivator army, they could still find a place to cultivate. It was not a big deal. Ning Cheng's words immediately aroused a burst of discussion. The matter of Kong Peng Peng's battalion, there were not many people who did not know about it. For the sake of the enemies from the Yixing Ocean, the people of the Pubu Island unexpectedly plotted against their own people. In fact, there were only a few people who approved of this matter. But since Kong Peng Peng was forced to retreat, then Ni Gang and Lao Yu wanted to kill two small cultivators without any roots or foundation. It was simply too simple. Ni Gang brought out a huge long blade, but under the endless spear lights, it was simply unable to break through. But the spear lights of the long spear did not even slow down for even half a moment. In just a moment, it turned into an icicle-like spear shadow, as it blew apart the long blade and rumbled through Ni Gang's chest. Ji Min knew that Ning Cheng must be captured and killed, but the matter of Nan Yuefang was something that almost all the cultivator army of the Jia continent was aware of. He did not expect that Ning Cheng would announce this matter so loudly. At this time he regretted not killing Nan Yuefang and Yang Hongho. If he had killed these two people earlier, then there would not have been such a thing today. Now that Nan Yuefang and Yang Hongho appeared again, it was tantamount to reminding everyone of this matter. If this matter was not handled properly, then it would not be a good thing for the Jia continent's cultivator army. Ji Min subconsciously took a few steps back, while simultaneously using his spiritual consciousness to lock onto his own magical weapon. As long as Ning Cheng made his move, he would immediately counterattack. After Ning Cheng heard about the spiritual enhancement true nectar, He knew that there really was another reason for this matter. It was definitely because Kong Ping Ping, in order to collect the necessary materials to advance to the soul sculpting realm, had sold some spiritual enhancement true nectar and ended up being found out. Then he conveniently used the matter of him killing Shen Tu Yun to plot against Kong Ping Ping. Nan Yuefeng's voice came from behind. "Thank you, I'm all right, Junior Commander had just saved me." At this time, a voice filled with dense killing intent arrived. "Who dares to break into my Pubu Island's cultivator army's death prison?" "Humph, a bunch of nonsense." A bald-headed man coldly snorted and stood up. "Before Yizheng Battalion's General Kong Ping Ping escaped from the Jia Continent's cultivator army, and now a trivial junior commander like you dares to attack the Pubu Island's death prison." Ning Qing did not directly answer Ji Min's words, but suddenly spoke out in a clear voice. "To all the soldiers of the Jia Continent's cultivator army, I am Yizheng Battalion's 5-star junior commander Ning Qing, and can also be said to be a member of the Jia Continent's cultivator army. Because of this, when I forcibly broke open the prison cell, I did not kill a single person. It is not that I do not want to kill people, but because every injustice has its perpetrator, and every debt has its debtor. In the past when I went to the law's way, how my subordinates Junior Marquis Nan Yuefeng and Senior Captain Yang Hongho were framed, I do not think that I need to explain it to anyone. Therefore, today I am here to seek justice." He had never seen Ning Qing before, although he was relieved, but he did not let the people swarm him. Regarding this matter, he was very clear about it. Although Nan Yuefeng and Yang Hongho were wrongly accused, but it was not his business, someone else would come forward to deal with the person who broke the prison cell. When Ji Min saw Ning Qing kill Ni Gang so easily, he felt his heart tremble. Even if he wanted to kill Ni Gang, it would not be so simple. This junior commander Ning's cultivation was definitely higher than his. Ji Min knew that he had to take down Ning Qing in front of everyone, and then turn Nan Yuefeng's matter into a small matter. "Lao Yu, stand up for me?" After Ning Qing killed Ni Gang, his mood was a lot better, as his eyes once again swept over the cultivator army surrounding him. "I am your original junior commander Ning Qing." Ning Qing spoke as he punched open the prison cell and broke the chains on Nan Yuefeng's body. "Are you junior commander Ning Qing?" Unlike Nan Yuefeng, although Ning Qing had changed a little, Yang Hongho was still able to recognize Ning Qing in an instant. "Junior Markinen, are you all right? I am not dead yet. Junior Marquis has helped me a lot." Yang Hongho remembered Nan Yuefeng and anxiously asked, "You are?" Nan Yuefeng looked at Ning Qing absent-mindedly. She felt that Ning Qing was very familiar, but she did not know who he was. She was still thinking in her heart, who dared to directly break open the Pubu Island's death cell? This person's courage was really not ordinary. Nan Yuefeng could still move, but Yang Hongho was not even able to move, as his injuries were much more serious than Nan Yuefeng's. Seeing Ji Min not speaking, Ni Gang gave a cold snort as he took a step forward, and in a blink of an eye arrived in front of Ning Qing, while simultaneously bringing out a huge blade. But seeing that Ning Qing did not seem to have any intention to start, he clenched his teeth and said, "The matter between Nan Yuefeng and Yang Honghua really makes people sigh, but the strength of the Pubu Island is limited, as such they are unable to come up with a pill to restore the meridians." Ji Min Kai was just about to ask for the Lu Continent's cultivator army's opinion, when Ning Qing interrupted him. "Commander Ji, how about this? Let's just forget about the broken meridians. You can also represent the Pubu Island to give us some compensation. What does Commander Ji think?" As he spoke the last sentence, Ning Qing's imposing aura had already started to oppress him. Since he was killed by Ning Qing, then even if he did not want to count the matter of his meridians being broken, Ning Qing now wanted compensation. Ji Min Kai hurriedly spoke up, "I can represent the Jia Continent's cultivator army, and for the two of them each come up with 500,000 high-grade spirit stones, a medium-grade spiritual artifact flight-type magical weapon, a high-grade spiritual artifact attack-type magical weapon. For a place like the Pubu Island, the things that Ji Min Kai had brought out were already very rich. It could even be said that it was enough to arouse the greed of a soul essence cultivator." Ning Cheng turned to Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua at his side and asked, "Do you want to continue staying here, or do you want to come with me?" Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua did not hesitate to reply, "We are willing to go with Junior Commander." As long as they were not fools, it was impossible for them to want to stay here. Ning Cheng cupped his fists towards Ji Minkai and spoke, "The compensation will be according to Commander Ji's words. We will not disturb Commander Ji." Ji Minkai felt relieved at the same time, and quickly took out 2 rings and handed them to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng turned his hand and handed the 2 rings to the 2 excited people, and then cupped his fists towards Ji Minkai and spoke, "Many thanks to Commander Ji for handling this matter fairly. Before I leave, I would like to ask Commander Ji, where is Kong Cheng from the Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy?" Ji Minkai finally understood that Ning Cheng had not completely given up. He still wanted to look for Kong Cheng. However, this matter was not related to him. He had already settled it on his side. Whether Kong Cheng lived or died, what did it have to do with him? Kong Cheng is not in the Celestial Globe Academy. He should have gone to the Tian continent. I heard that the Celestial Globe Academy gave him a quota to go to the Tian continent. Ji Minkai replied without hiding anything. Ning Cheng had originally planned to go to the Jia continent's Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy, but since Kong Cheng was not there, then there was no need for him to go there. Taking out a low-grade flight-type true artifact, he let Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua board the airship, and instantly rushed out of the Pubu Island. When Ji Minkai saw Ning Cheng's low-grade true artifact flight-type magical weapon, he was even more glad in his heart that he did not start a fight with Ning Cheng. Generally speaking, if one had a low-grade true artifact flight-type magical weapon, then how many of them would be good to provoke? Junior Commander Ning. Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua had thought that they would die without a doubt. They did not expect that there would be light at the end of the tunnel, as Ning Cheng suddenly came to save them. After coming out of the Pubu Island, the 2 of them immediately came to thank Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng smiled and spoke, "You can call me Ning Cheng from now on. That Junior Commander is already a thing of the past, and I do not care about it. Here are 2 profound replenishment pills. You can first go to the inner cabin to connect your meridians, and then we can talk again." "Elder brother Ning, I can still restore my cultivation." Yang Honghua's hand that was holding the profound replenishment pill was trembling. He had just obtained 500,000 spirit stones, and was ready to give it to Ning Cheng. He had already lost his cultivation, as such these things would be useless to him. Ning Cheng patted his shoulder and spoke, "Don't worry, go ahead." "Thank you, Senior Apprentice Brother Ning." Nan Yuefang knew a lot more than Yang Honghua. She knew that the profound replenishment pill was a rank 5 profound pill, and was very difficult to obtain, but she did not expect that Ning Cheng would even give this kind of pill to them. After the 2 of them went in to restore their cultivation, Ning Cheng called out Ning Rulin. "Big brother, did we come out of the Angry Axe Valley?" Knowing the disparity between herself and the cultivators here, Ning Rulin had been cultivating every day, and was constantly making progress. At this time, she was already at Qi Gathering 6th level. This time my harvest was not small, and I also took a trip to the Pubu Island. After Ning Cheng told Ning Rulin everything about the Pubu Island, Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua came out feeling refreshed. "Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, she is?" Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua looked at Ning Rulin, who was standing beside Ning Cheng, and asked in a puzzled manner. With the help of the profound replenishment pill, it only took them half a day to reconnect their meridians. In just half a day, how could there be another person here? Ning Cheng had not yet spoken, when Ning Rulin stood up and spoke. "My name is Ning Rulin, Ning Cheng is my big brother." "Greetings, Senior Apprentice Sister Yuefeng, Senior Apprentice Brother Yang Honghua." Hearing that she was Ning Cheng's little sister, the 2 of them quickly came forward to return the greeting. Ning Rulin only had the cultivation of Qi Gathering 6th level, but Ning Cheng had saved their lives, as such they could not neglect him. "Do you know about General Kong Peng? Can you tell me about it?" Ning Cheng was still somewhat worried about Kong Peng. He did not know if Kong Peng had advanced to the soul sculpting realm. If he had not advanced, then with 3 soul essence experts besieging him, who knows if he would really be able to escape. Nan Yuefang said, "General Kong Peng, because of his military merits, has a quota to go to the Tian continent. So when people besieged Kong Prung Pung, no one stood up to oppose it. After all, the quota is limited. With one less person, the competition would also be less. Ning Qing knew that Nan Yuefang should not know about the matter regarding the spiritual enhancement True Nectar. For a person of Kong Prung Peng's level to be besieged by the other generals, there was definitely someone behind it. He had previously heard from Jia Lingwei that the Gui clan and the cultivator army of the 9 continents were on good terms. As such, this matter might also have the shadow of the Gui clan. Senior apprentice brother Ning, where are we going now? Hearing Nan Yuefang call Ning Cheng as senior apprentice brother, Yang Honghua also changed the way he addressed him as senior apprentice brother. Ning Cheng first took out a few jade bottles and handed them to Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua. These are the pills for your cultivation, including the profound life pill. Hearing the words profound life pill, Nan Yuefang's hands trembled and almost could not hold the jade bottles in her hands. Even if she worked hard for a few decades in the Pubu Island, she would not necessarily be able to get her hands on the profound life pill, but Ning Cheng actually casually gave it to her. And I still have some ways to obtain pills. For me, it is not something precious. This time I am going back to the Ping continent to collect some debts, and then cultivate for a period of time. Once my cultivation goes up, I intend to go to the Tian continent. If you are willing, I can also take you to the Tian continent. Ning Cheng had not finished his words when Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua firmly spoke up. Senior apprentice brother Ning, we are willing to follow you. The quota to go to the Tian continent, even the soul essence cultivators of the Pubu Island would have to fight for it. Since Ning Cheng said that he was willing to take them with him, this kind of thing, how could they not be willing? As for whether or not Ning Cheng could reach the Tian continent, Yang Honghua and Nan Yuefang did not doubt it at all. Since Ning Cheng could instantly kill the 2 generals, then he definitely had a formidable strength. Senior apprentice brother Ning, the greatest fortune in my life is to be together with you. In the past, when you were fighting against the Yixing Ocean's cultivator army, I knew that you would definitely be extraordinary. I really did not misread you. Yang Honghua's eyes turned red with excitement. Nan Yuefang did not like to talk much, but in the face of this kind of opportunity, she was unable to restrain herself. Fortunately, I joined your junior commander, otherwise I would have been lost in the Pubu Island for the rest of my life. Ning Cheng stood up and spoke. Since we are all on the same side, I will take you to join a big academy. In the future, if I am not in the academy, my younger sister Rulin will still need your help. Big brother, wherever you go, I will follow. Ning Rulin quickly spoke up. Ning Qing gave a smile. Under normal circumstances, I would definitely stay in the academy. It's just that I need a lot of resources for my cultivation. If the academy does not have them, then I might have to leave the academy to look for them, but I will be back soon. At this time, it would be more important for you to stay in the academy and cultivate. He had already decided that after he used up the 3 crystal stones left behind by Meng Jingxiu, his cultivation would definitely rise to another level. As long as he could fight against a crucible transformation cultivator, then even if he brought a few people into the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, there would not be any problems. Presumably, Rui Baishan would also give him some face. We've arrived. Ning Cheng's airship landed outside the Zhongli city of the Zhongqin province. As he looked at the mottled city walls, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. When he had first left this place, he had been chased by a lot of people. Now that he had arrived here many years later, it was truly hard to describe his mood. Big brother, the spiritual qi here is very thin. Big brother, what's wrong with you? Ning Rulin was used to cultivating inside the spiritual gathering array, so when she arrived here, she immediately felt that the spiritual qi here was very thin. However, she immediately stopped her words, as she felt that her big brother's expression was somewhat wrong. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness fell onto a woman wearing a blue robe, causing his face to turn red with excitement. Le Fei had really come back. Chapter 398. At this time, Luo Fei had the cultivation of true condensation 9th level, although he did not dare to say that she was invincible in the Zhongqin province, but it was still impossible for anyone to dare to do anything to her. However, Ning Cheng found some array formations around the black stone house that he and Luofei lived in. Ning Cheng felt sure that these array formations were not arranged by Luofei alone could not arrange these rank 3 array formations. Moreover, these array formations not only contained monitoring array formations but also entrapment formations. Even if Luofei wanted to arrange an array formation, it was impossible for her to arrange an entrapment formation around her house. Luofei stood in the middle of the courtyard of the stone house, holding something in her hands. Her eyes looked a bit bleak. Ning Cheng could tell from the aura emanating from her that Luofei had not cultivated at all in this place. "Rulin, you come with Yuefeng. I'll go see Luofei first." Ning Cheng spoke as his figure flashed into the city and disappeared in an instant. Ning Rulin finally understood why her big brother's expression had changed. It turned out that sister-in-law Luofei had truly returned. She saw Nan Yuefeng and Yang Honghua looking at her with a puzzled expression, as she quickly gave a smile and spoke. "Let's walk a bit slower. My big brother saw sister-in-law, so he was a bit excited. At this time, they must have a lot to talk about. Let's go there later." Nan Yuefeng nodded. Her spiritual consciousness had already seen Ning Cheng enter a stone house, causing her to quickly take back her spiritual consciousness. "Luofei." Ning Cheng's abrupt voice immediately woke up Ji Luofei, who was standing in the middle of the courtyard in a daze. She instantly turned around and stared at Ning Cheng. Why did she see Ning Cheng come back? But she clearly saw Ning Cheng come back, so why didn't she dare to recognize him? "Hey, it's Ning Cheng, I'm back?" Ning Cheng, on seeing Ji Luofei's surprised, panicked and somewhat hesitant face, felt some pity in his heart. She must have experienced some changes after advancing to the soul essence realm, but Luofei did not dare to confirm it. "Pata." The things in Ji Luofei's hands fell to the ground and immediately scattered. It turned out to be some paper money and sacrificial items. "Ning Cheng." Ji Luofei's lips trembled. She finally understood that she had not seen it wrong. Ning Cheng had truly returned. This kind of feeling that came from the bottom of her heart made her sure that the person in front of her was Ning Cheng, her fiancé. He was also the person she had been waiting for. Woo! When Ning Cheng arrived in front of her, Ji Luofei could no longer bear it and threw herself into Ning Cheng's arms. She tightly hugged Ning Cheng, and other than sobbing, could not even utter a single word. Feeling the trembling of Ji Luofei in his arms, Ning Cheng's heart was also surging with emotions. Fortunately, he chose to return to the Ping continent. Otherwise, how could he see Luofei? The two no longer spoke and quietly hugged each other. Not knowing for how long, Ning Cheng finally patted Luofei's back and spoke. "Luofei, we should be happy. I will not leave you behind to go to some mystic realm again." The last time he had thrown Luofei into the Angry Axe Valley, Ning Cheng had always blamed himself. If not for that old woman saving Luofei, then perhaps he might have really lost Luofei. When Ji Luofei heard Ning Cheng's words, her body once again trembled. She raised her head from Ning Cheng's bosom. Ning Cheng saw the fear in Ji Luofei's eyes. He slowly removed the black veil covering Ji Luofei's face and spoke. "Luofei, you don't have to worry about it in the future." Ning Cheng's words suddenly stopped, as he saw a peerlessly beautiful face. Apart from a slightly pale oval face, it did not have even the slightest trace of smoke and fire. That delicate and elegant aura assaulted his senses, causing Ning Cheng to feel a burst of suffocation. There was not even a shred of makeup on her face, yet people could see that she was a peerless and refined beauty. Although she was in his arms, Ning Cheng felt that Luofei was like a fairy that was about to leave him and ride the wind. Those slightly hesitant and worried eyes almost melted Ning Cheng's heart. Whether or not beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, Ning Cheng had only seen this kind of beauty in Shi Qionghua's body. However, Luofei's beauty and Shi Qionghua's beauty could not be overlapped at all. "Luofei, you are so beautiful." Other than this kind of tacky words, Ning Cheng really could not find the right words to describe Luofei in his arms. After Ji Luofei, who was originally hesitant, heard Ning Cheng's words, the fear and uneasiness in her eyes completely disappeared. It was as if she had put down some other things, and her eyes even showed some joy, Aunt Gong's son saved me, she helped me restore my appearance. Now that you like it, I am the happiest." Ning Cheng felt excited, and was just about to speak when his complexion suddenly changed. Feeling the change in Ning Cheng's mood, Ji Luofei worriedly grabbed Ning Cheng's hand. She guessed that Ning Cheng had already discovered something. "Luofei, who placed a spiritual consciousness mark on you, or a restriction seal mark?" Ning Cheng had not even finished his words, when the murderous aura around his body suddenly turned sharp. He could feel the familiarity of the restriction seal mark. He knew who placed it. Moreover, it was the most vicious spiritual consciousness seal mark. He had even looked for Na Xinlan from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy for this matter. As such, there were still 2 boxes of the power of hope undergarments in his ring. Na Xinlan certainly would not do such a thing, and presumably, the person from the Wunyan Academy would also not do such a thing. For such a thing, other than Gui Feng of the Gui clan, there was absolutely no one else. Gui clan, the murderous intent in Ning Cheng's heart was getting more and more intense. He had originally said that he would settle this matter after his cultivation had reached a higher level, but he did not expect that the Gui clan would take the initiative to find him. If he had not come back in time, then the result, Ning Cheng could not help but feel fear. The powerful murderous intent caused Ji Luofei, who was in Ning Cheng's arms, to shiver. She subconsciously tightened her arms around Ning Cheng and spoke, "Being able to see you again, I am already very happy. It shows that my choice was not wrong. You will definitely come back." "Did you know about it?" Ning Cheng quickly converged the murderous intent in his body, as he lovingly stroked Ji Luofei's long hair. Someone placed a spiritual consciousness mark on me, and even trapped me in an entrapment array formation. However, I was not the only one in the Zhongli city who ended up with a spiritual consciousness mark. The other women were also brought to the Zhongqin 2-Star Academy, where they were all gathered together. "I request to stay here alone, otherwise I will end my own life." Ji Luofei's voice trembled a little. Originally, she had already accepted the idea of dying, as such she did not feel much fear in her heart. However, now that Ning Cheng had really come back, she also wanted to be together with Ning Cheng. Once she had a reason to live, the fear in her heart was magnified infinitely. Ning Cheng's hand casually patted Ji Luofei's body a few times, as his true essence instantly surrounded the spiritual consciousness mark on Ji Luofei's shoulder. In just 1 or 2 breaths of time, Ning Cheng managed to grab the spiritual consciousness mark on Ji Luofei's shoulder. The next moment, Ning Cheng had already placed the spiritual consciousness mark on Ji Luofei's shoulder into a jade box, while simultaneously putting away the jade box. Ji Luofei, who felt her whole body become incomparably relaxed, looked up at Ning Cheng in amazement and spoke, "Ning Cheng, you helped me remove the spiritual consciousness mark? Is it that simple?" Ning Cheng nodded. "Luofei, you don't have to worry about it. I have not removed the array formation outside, so let it be. I have already seen the women gathered in the Zhongqin Academy, and they seem to be very happy. That's because they did not know about it. The news that they received was that there was a major academy in an intermediate class continent that needed some outer sect female disciples. Gathering them together was just an inspection to see who qualified and who did not." Ji Luofei's words immediately made Ning Cheng understand. In this corner of the Zhongqin province, if a major academy from an intermediate class continent wanted to recruit disciples, who would not be willing? This was equivalent to a pie in the sky. Or rather, it was something that they wanted to obtain even in their dreams. Therefore, it was normal for these women to be happy. Whether it was because of him or not, since the Gui clan found Luofei, he decided to settle the accounts. "It's really strange, when there is a spiritual consciousness mark, I always want to light some incense." Ji Luofei seemed to have felt the changes in her body. "I'll explain it to you later." Ning Cheng finished and called out towards the door, "Run, you can also come in." Only then did Ji Luofei realize that Ning Cheng was not alone. She then saw 3 people walking in. Ning Ruolin looked at Ji Luofei in shock. Tian Muan and her were both beauties. Therefore, she did not care about the so-called beauties. Apart from Tian Muan, she really had not seen any beauty that could make her exclaim. However, She had never seen a woman as beautiful as Ji Lufei. Was this her sister-in-law? Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua, on seeing Ji Lufei, also secretly marveled in their hearts. Ning Cheng's wife turned out to be so beautiful. Sister-in-law, you really are beautiful, the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Ning Ruolin quickly walked over. Sister-in-law? Ji Lufei looked at Ning Cheng in doubt. Why did this woman call her sister-in-law? Ning Cheng quickly spoke up. Ruolin, Luofei and I are not married yet. From now on you can just call me elder sister Lufei. Lufei, it's a long story, I'll tell it to you later. After Ning Cheng explained to Lu, he also introduced Nan Yuefang and Yang Honghua. After the introductions, Ning Cheng turned to Yang Honghua and said, you go to the Tsanglu city and find a big place to live. We will be staying in the Tsanglu city for a while. Yang Honghua immediately responded and went out. I'll go too. Nan Yuefang could see that Ning Cheng, Ji Luofei and his sister had a lot to talk about, as such it would not be convenient for her to stay here. An hour later, Ning Cheng finally spoke out everything that had happened to him. Ji Luofei looked at Ning Cheng in a daze. She had thought that Ning Cheng would change so much after his family was destroyed. It turned out that he had lived 2 lives. I'm sorry Luofei, I never told you before. Ning Cheng, seeing Ji Luofei in a daze, he apologetically stood up. Ji Luofei could see that Ning Ruolin and Ning Cheng had a very good relationship. She had always thought that the 2 of them were only brother and sister, but in fact, it was not the case. Now after listening to Ning Cheng's words, she finally understood that Ning Ruolin was truly Ning Cheng's little sister. Hearing Ning Cheng's apology, Ji Luofei immediately reacted. Even ignoring Ning Ruolin, who was sitting next to her, she also stood up and tightly hugged Ning Cheng. She now fully understood why Ning Cheng had changed so much. It turned out to be because of this. However, whether Ning Cheng had reincarnated into his past life or not, it did not matter to her. She only knew that she liked the person she was hugging. Ji Luofei's actions clearly showed her thoughts. Ning Cheng gently caressed Ji Luofei's hair and spoke, Lufei, you must have had a hard time these years. Tell me, how did you come here? Also, when were the restrictions placed on your body? You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.